was like,
Fuck, I wonder what the chances of that is, bro. It'd be
I don't
like,
know.
fuck.
It is the funniest
It
shit
would be
though.
the most, like, is that like extreme good luck at that point? Like, it's like, right, this is round the neck.
Yeah, bro. I reckon, honestly, arguably, you could consider it to be unlucky, really. I mean, fucking in the mouth feels like, you know, bird shit on you. It's like good luck. Bird shit's in you. Maybe not so
Yeah,
much.
but how is it good luck that you get shit on?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
It sounds a bit like religion, doesn't it? It's like people die and it's like, no, it's okay. When they die, they go to this magical place and it's great. And then it's like, oh, okay, that sounds like a good thing now.
yeah.
And then it's like people getting shit on. They're like, no, it's good luck.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
like,
Yeah.
It's like maybe shit just happens and sometimes people get shit on and it's actually just shit.
I like Ricky Gervais's logic on it, and he's like, there's like 500 different gods you can believe in, because he's like hard out atheist, eh?
Yeah.
And then he's just like, and you believe in one, and I just don't, and not 499, and I just don't believe in one more.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not religious, but like, I reckon there's definitely like a fucking,
Something.
like an energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, energy doesn't die, but I don't know, bro. It's a buzzy one.
I think because I went to a Christian, like Catholic primary school growing up. My dad's Irish as fuck, so Catholic, heaps of kids, like classic as sort of upbringing. Mum not so religious.
Yeah.
And I always found that I really enjoyed the stories.
Yeah,
And I
bro.
liked the content.
Yeah.
But as I got older, the fear mongering side of it, of, you know, be good and here are all the things you have to do, that stuff was where it lost me, you know?
Yeah.
But as far as like Jesus and God and the Bible and all the stories that are in there, which is a whole other thing when you talk about the amount of versions of the Bible there are, but we won't go into that. In general,
Yeah.
there's good stuff in there, man.
Oh, 100%.
And for kids growing up, it's no further from
like
the
an
truth
idol.
than a parent being like, you can't do this. Why? Well, because I said so. It's the same concept, you know. It's just another analogy for, you know.
I never liked that, like, whole, like, you had to do something and then you're about, well, why can't or why do I have to do it? And then there wasn't like a logical explanation. Like, I was like, tell me the why. And then they're like, why are you talking back? It's like, I just want to know. Yeah. Like, there's got to be a logic behind it.
I think that as much as I agree with that, I think that definitely comes in more as you get older as an understandable perspective. You know, when you're younger, it's like,
to be fair,
I can't even explain to you why, dude. You're 9.
Like, yeah. True that, actually. It's like, even if they tried to explain it, wouldn't have made sense.
No.
Like at all.
Yeah,
that's a fucking good point.
It wouldn't have changed your perspective either. Here's the truth, and it's like, well, that's stupid. It's like, but that's how the world works. It's like, well, I just want to do this, and it's like, no. Well, why? I just explained it to you.
And
so it's just so much easier to say
it's
no.
like trying to tell like a 9-year-old that if you eat too much ice cream, you're gonna feel sick. And they're like, how would like, how would something so nice like do me so dirty? You know,
show me the research.
Yeah. Fuck, that's criminal, man.
I think it's also too, you know, humans, we have a tendency to want to learn lessons for ourselves.
Oh yeah.
You know, you
always got to find it out the hard way.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was talking to the bro about this, and I was like, I reckon I found out everything the hard way, like minus fucking archive, like from welding.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing I'm like not fucking around with, and like everything else, like, I'll happily dig myself the hole to figure it out myself.
Nice. That's a good way to go. It's also the perfect sort of time in human history to do it, to be in that mindset, because you actually have access to everything that can help you learn anything you want to learn. You know, like
that's crazy, eh?
Yeah. The age of information is nuts, bro.
Yeah, it's like Google just has all the answers, and if Google doesn't, it's like AI's got you.
I was to sort of connect those two things of religion and the age of information to like now. I've been reading this book called The Celestine Prophecy.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
Nah, I can't read well.
That's all right. It's
audio book.
That's why fucking people share stories.
Yeah.
So this whole I think it's fictional, but I mean the story in itself might be. I'm not sure if the actual manuscripts are, but it's about a person that finds out that there's these manuscripts that have been found in Peru that are supposedly like a pretty clear philosophy on how to go about your life in terms of connecting with a deeper consciousness, and also the evolution of the collective human consciousness over time, and why things are the way they are, and why we are where we're at. And the basic explanation in terms of what we're talking about, you know, religion and then the age of information, is the second insight, which is called the long now. And it's all about taking into consideration, or at least having a perspective of where humans as a collective, the way that we think, where and how that's evolved. And it sort of starts with, you know, the year 1000, when everyone was into religion, and religion was the be all and end all. Humans were the center of the universe, the earth was flat, and we were God's special creatures.
Yeah.
And then slowly, after, you know, sort of 400, 500 years of that, the priests start slipping up. They let politicians do certain things. They let themselves get away with certain things.
Yeah.
We stop looking at them as men of God and start going, well, maybe they're just full of shit.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows.
Which is that why.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get older, you're like, why?
And then science sort of starts coming in, and then and you get it a couple more, like, or a couple more 100 years, and by then we've disproven that we're the center of the universe. We know that we rotate around the sun. The Earth's not flat anymore. And as much as it's real cool that humans are kind of now figuring out how shit works for themselves and not taking, you know, faith as the answer for everything, only some things, there's this scary part where you go, well, now what happened to that thing with people dying? Is that not God's plan anymore? As bad stuff's no longer caught by this beautiful thing, and so humans are left with this weird in between where they go, I want knowledge and understanding, but I also want comfort to know that there's meaning to my life. And so some people stick with religion, some people, well, I mean, everybody kind of sways between. I'm sure it's a spectrum. Yeah. But then there's also people that are saying, well, let's just figure out a good method of interpreting and measuring and understanding the world around us. And then once we've done that, we'll send a bunch of explorers out to go figure shit out, right?
Yeah.
And so this is about in the 1600s. They're like, let's send everybody out and we'll go see what we find.
Yeah.
And then they sent people out, and it took however long for people to, like, look around and find shit. But it's way longer than anyone anticipated because the world's so much bigger.
Yeah.
So you go, okay, we've sent the explorers out. 1 year passed, 2 years passed. It's like, what are we doing?
No, where did my homies go?
So we go, okay, let's just double down on security, resources, and just making ourselves comfortable and really understanding our area and creating a good system of security for us as a community, right? Until the explorers come back and tell us what the meaning of life is.
Yeah.
And that was 400 years ago. It's like, now it's 2000, and we've spent the last, like, 2,000 years preoccupied with this or 400 years preoccupied with this concept of, like,
one day someone's going to have an answer.
One day someone's going to come back and have the answer. But we just forgot.
Yeah.
And we just doubled down on doing this. And now we've got a bunch of people that are just floating around being like, what? I don't know if this has any meaning, but I'm like, and then the meaning has now become getting by, which was never the meaning. It was just what we were doing until we found the meaning.
So it's almost like, yeah. It's like almost ignorance is bliss, eh? Like if we never thought to look deeper, then the world would probably be, I don't know. I don't want to say better.
Well, we're just gonna.
It'd be more,
to a degree, yeah.
It'd be more like chill.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would be also stagnant, you know. That's the reason why I don't think it's stuck true, is because people grow and evolve. People have always. There's more people, there's more opinions, there's more things happening, there's more chemicals in the atom soup. Everything is getting mixed up, and slowly those supposedly foundational forever ideas aren't that anymore. So it's like, okay, let's find something new.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not to say that we are stuck in this, gathering resources and staying safe mindset. It's more to say the purpose of the book, or what it suggests, is that we're actually coming to the end of the era of
questioning.
Well, no, of the, in a way, lack of questioning, or just basically they describe it as the preoccupation, what we've been preoccupied with, which is just getting by and setting everything up. And now we've got 7 billion people. We have immediate communication from one side of the world all the way to the other. We can communicate with the explorers now, everywhere, constantly.
Yeah, true.
All of the information is now gathered. And the only thing from here is like, okay, now we've done that, recognize that we've done that, and as a collective be like, well, where do we go from here? But instead, we're just like, we just got to keep getting more resources.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like we're
getting resources. And
we're done.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
You know, we've successfully done that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like, oh, gutted, I can't have avocados, they're out of season? It's like, no, it just means that they're more expensive. You can have every food all the time, everywhere in a first world country. And everything's constantly accessible. You have access to all the information of the human race all of the time. And we're just like going to jobs and being like, this is what I got to do to get food. It's like, no, dude, that's not.
Yeah, like let's work a job that we think is average and then spend most of our life there and then get shitty at the missus because like rent's kind of steep, you know, and all I wanted was the chocolate bar, but I can't afford it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's crazy to me the amount of people that just work like this average job. It's like, but it pays well. And it's like, but you're spending a majority of your life there.
Yeah.
So is it worth it?
Yeah. How much does your life cost?
Yeah. Is it worth that like extra $100 in the savings to spend on whatever you want? Like, fuck that.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's
but that's
a spectrum, you know.
Yeah,
like,
those are got to be the people that don't have like the inner monologue thing. Have you heard about that?
Arguably, I know what you're talking about people that don't have a voice inside of their head.
Yeah. It's got to be them, bro.
Think about it this way, though, right? Because are you saying that in the light of like, well, if they don't have an inner monologue, they're probably not overthinking shit, so they're just doing shit, so they probably just take whatever's in front of them? Is that sort of what you're suggesting? Like, you don't have an inner monologue, so you're probably not overthinking shit as much as I am.
Yeah.
The irony to that, as much as I agree with where you're coming from, is also, just to play devil's advocate, it's like, if you don't have an inner monologue, doesn't that mean you're just going to get shit done and you're not going to overthink it?
Yeah.
If anything, an inner monologue's possibly slowing you down because you're like, oh,
is that like the self critique? Like almost
like the imposter.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think my explanation for people that are comfortable with what they do is two things. Firstly, I don't think anybody's ever completely comfortable all of the time. I think everybody's.
Oh, you gotta have some sort of stress.
Yeah.
Like stress is bad if you have too much of it, but I reckon like stress and like a little bit of anxiety and stuff is like kind of good. Like that's like your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta get like you gotta get past like some sort of anxiety, and then like
But I think everybody has like a different version of where they've come from, and I think that's why you're always going to have different versions of where people are and why they're there. You know, it's like you've done like a few different jobs and stuff, I'm sure, and work with a lot of different people. And you'll be in a job and you meet people, and your first thought is, oh well, they're this person and they do this and that's what they do. And then after 2 days, you're like, this guy's crazy. He's nuts. He does the most outrageous shit I've ever heard. The way that this person got here is a crazy story in of itself, you know? He's not just a painter. He's not just a this. It's like he's a being that's just somehow ended up in this point and right now is doing that, but it's not his whole life, you know? Nobody's is. And so I don't think that anybody's necessarily like fully writing it off and being like, I'm comfortable. I think everybody's just making do with where they're at that point in time. Yeah. And inevitably, I mean, hoping to
get to this point of like doing what they really wanted to do.
Doing what they really want to do, or doing something that they find a good balance of satisfaction and challenge. That's
you know what I mean? The challenge and satisfaction is definitely a huge thing. Like, it's like growing up, I used to always go to like the mobile across the street, and like there's this old lady who works there. And like she still works there, so she's been working there for like 25 years at least. Damn. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, I thought about it the other day because I popped in there, and I was like, that's a long time to be doing the same thing. Like, does that fulfill her? Like, does that like? Because if it does, that's all hats off, you know, like you found your purpose or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But I couldn't think of anything worse personally.
Right.
But that's just my perspective on it.
Understandably.
Yeah.
There's a couple things there too. It's like, firstly, it could be as simple as her having grown up in a different era, you know? It's like, if you go to an ice cream shop and it's got 3 flavors,
Yeah.
you're going to make a decision and you're going to go, that's great. You might even try all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then go, this is definitely the one for me.
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
you find your pocket, you're like, oh, I'm a chocolate man. And you just eat chocolate ice cream for the rest of your life. Because there's only 2 other flavors and you've tried them. And you're like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
That's been her existence. It was like, okay, I could work at the mobile and like stay here in my community and do this kind of stuff. Or I
Yeah.
could go traveling. She went traveling. She did that. She came
Yeah,
back. It
true
wasn't for
that.
her.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
did whatever. And then she's landed on this chocolate ice cream and been like, sweet, I'm going to work at the mobile. I've got my partner. I
Yeah.
love my immediate community. I like my family. This is a great place for me, right?
Yeah.
25
true
years, it goes in the blink of an eye because you're cruising.
Yeah,
But
true.
you have an ice cream shop with 1,000 flavors from the moment that you open your eyes. There's an infinite access. Your whole life you're being told you can do anything.
Probably because of the internet as well.
Yeah, so how are you going to find a flavor, bro?
But imagine working, like, bit of curveball, but imagine being the person behind the screen at the ice cream place. They must be so patient because every time I've ever gone, like, bro, how many times have you rocked into an ice cream place and been like, yeah, I want that one? No, you sit there and you fuck around for 10 minutes and you debrief with the bro about it and they're just standing there just like, yeah, bro, hurry up. Like, they have got to be the most patient people.
Especially when you get the thing you would have walked in and said, I'll get that one in the end. Like, I go in and I'm like, I want chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
And then I look at all the flavors and go, can I have chocolate ice cream?
Yeah,
please?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Or like you're like, I want it, and then you go, and you start scoping all the others out, and then like the chicks behind the counter or like the dudes behind the counter, like, you know, ready to go, like, and then goes, oh no. I'm like, and then you just do that full circle back, and then you go, nah, chocolate. We're not getting out of the comfort zone.
nah.
We're just gonna stick to chocolate.
And
that's what we know.
That's why everybody needs to do hospitality, bro. Because you got to learn you learn shit doing hospitality, man. You can't view the world the same after standing behind a counter and watching someone go.
Bro. I think the only thing you realize is common sense isn't common at all.
Nah. There's no such thing as normal.
Yeah, that's
No
true.
such thing, bro. It's just a made-up idea that people have to keep them comfortable because nobody knows where the middle line is on the spectrum, bro. Like,
I think everyone just fakes being normal too.
yeah.
That's what I kind of realized as well, is that like every time I'm like, nah, that's like real whack. And then you talk to someone about that, nah, I do the same. And you're like, oh. And like other people feel the same.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, so like you're just kind of faking it like how I'm faking it to like blend in and be normal.
Yeah.
And it's just like this big game of like who can act the most normal in their corporate job. And
I think it's, for me, if I was going to try structure it, it's almost like primary school and then high school. You're a kid developing within a new version of society. You've gone from the village of your home to the village of a school.
yeah.
But you don't actually have an identity or any morals or values or any foundational shit yet other than the subconscious stuff that's given to you by your parents and your family.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
you're
you are
faking
just
it.
these little molds of like your parents, like all your little mannerisms you pick up.
Yeah.
It's just you are them
Yeah.
until you're, I don't know what age. I'd probably say like 6, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's school.
It's almost like you're heavily dictated by them, but there's always your own sort of flavor in there of trying to get your version of it as well. You know, like parents don't look at kids and go, they're exactly like me. They're like, this one's like, you know, like his dad. This one's like mum. But also there's little differences. But I think the point I was getting at with the whole school aspect of it is that you are a kid, so you are faking it in the most honest way. From the get-go, you're just in there trying to make friends and hang out with people and stuff.
I think being a kid, you're like the most authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
Almost. Do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Like,
Go more.
Because you don't know anything. I guess it's that ignorance is bliss. Like, you don't really know anything about how life actually works, so you're just authentically yourself, and you don't really have an opinion or like a. Oh, I guess you do. Like, you know what you do want to do and you don't want to do. But
Yeah.
I feel like if a kid wants to do something, they just do it.
Yeah.
Where as you get older, you start weighing up all these pros and cons, and you're not really.
Yeah.
And they just say what they want.
Yeah.
You know, like if they see some dude with one arm in the supermarket, they're just gonna be like, "What happened to your arm?"
Yeah.
You know, like it's like
Or just
they're so they're so authentically like just them.
Yeah.
With no pressure to be like this normal
Yeah.
person that lives in this world that's structured by fuck knows what. But
I think a kid is the second closest to the most authentic version. And I'll explain it in this way, right? What do you think is more what do you think is more I don't know what the word is to say here. Honorable, special. Okay, what do you think is harder to be? Let's put it that way. What's harder to be out of a person that is completely ignorant to the idea of good and bad within the world? Like they just have them, and there's no like right or wrong, this, that. It's just a general compass of like, I'm just wandering around here and I don't really want to do harm to anybody. I don't want to do good. I'm just hoping for whatever I want as a kid. You don't have a concept of the world and the goods and the bads, right?
Yeah.
But that in itself, like you said, has that authentic streak. It's like, well, then you're just doing what you want.
Yeah.
Is that harder to be, which is, like you said, ignorant and blissful?
Yeah.
Or is it harder to be somebody who has grown up, acknowledges good and bad, and then still chooses good?
Yeah.
That to me is
like the adult that still like can pay his rent and all that, but is still mentally just that, does everything that the kid wanted to do still.
Exactly.
That finds that balance.
That's what I think is the money, bro. And I think that's where we're all trying to get in our own way, you know?
Yeah.
A place where your kid can run free, but he's still looked after by you.
Yeah. And it's like when you're a kid and you're like, oh, when I'm an adult, I'm going to do this. And you think that there's like this switch that happens one day that like, oh, I'm an adult now and I get to, and to me, I'm just still that, I feel like I'm still that kid.
Yeah.
But I'm just older.
Yeah.
So like, am I going to be 80 and I'm like, see a playground? I'm like, I reckon I could still like.
Yeah. You will.
Yeah. 100%.
If you maintain like what you are, you know, how you are and what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the heartbreaking part about the world is that some people's kid gets hurt so bad that they're like, that kid isn't safe. He doesn't have a purpose. He can't be a part of the main conversation. He can't have a hand on the wheel because he needs to be protected or kept to the side, or the world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, there's no sunshine and rainbows. They're just, you know, like, and that's where it gets into the complex human experience, bro. Everybody's doing things a different way because everybody's been treated a different way because everybody's come from a different place. So I think it's beautiful to be able to talk to someone like yourself, and I feel the same, and I feel privileged and lucky because of it, that for whatever reason, the combination of my experiences has led to a place where I'm thinking about being 80 and still wanting to jam the playground. Because I will, you know? I love the thought of mucking around and having fun and being a kid. And being a kid when I have kids. And being a kid in my everyday life, even though I'm doing completely adult shit.
Kids are like the excuse for like adults to be kids again. Like, you see like the bros have kids and that, and it's like, they're like, I want to go to the play. Yeah, fuck yeah. I want to go to Chipmunks. Like, not because there's like a 2-year-old or 3-year-old there that I'm looking after. Like, I still think that looks fun.
Bro, we had a bouncy castle at this fucking birthday party, bro, a little while ago. And by a little while ago, I mean literally last year. So I'm 25 at the time, you know? And bro, okay, admittedly I was on a bunch of ketamine. So that definitely changed the experience. But when I saw the bouncy castle go up, I was like, I'm going on that bouncy castle. And then I did it while also on ketamine. Holy shit, bro. That was the most...
There's something that's still magical about seeing a bouncy castle, like just...
Bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what it felt like? And this is a real big leeway. And I haven't really talked too much about like my experiences of drugs and shit on the pod and stuff before. But this shit changed my life. So I'm going to tell it. So... I've done a bump, and I go over to the bouncy castle, and Zonny's in there, and he's like, come in. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. It looks like a lot. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll get in. Hopped in, bro, and just straight up sat in the corner like a little Buddha. Like, didn't even move, didn't bounce, nothing. And then there was 2 or 3 other people sitting there, and everyone. It was a chill castle. There was no bounce castle about it. I was like, sweet.
Everyone was just vibing in there.
So we're sitting in this. Yeah, everyone's vibing, sitting there, and I was just sitting in the corner, just thinking, this is cool. And then obviously, more people are in the bouncy castle, so more people get attracted to the bouncy castle, and eventually the ruckus comes in, and people start bouncing around. And it's all good, you know. I'm going with the flow. I'm somehow still just perfectly in the corner. No matter how much ruckus is happening, I'm just balanced.
You just found the sweet spot.
I found the sweet spot.
Yeah. Where was it?
It was right in the corner, back left corner of the bouncy castle,
left?
bro.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, good spot.
And so people start bouncing around. I'm seeing people being flown around looking at me going, how are you sitting still? And
do you reckon it was something to do with the corner? Like you're just kind of like lodged in there?
Yeah, I was in the pocket. Right?
Yeah.
And then people started like, so, okay, this is real weird, but this is obviously part of the drugs. It's like, so, okay, it felt as though, because we're all in a bouncy castle, right? So everything that you do over there affects me over here physically,
100%.
right?
Yeah,
so it's that
yeah.
affects me.
Yeah.
So it felt as though, because we were all getting like, we could all feel each other in the physical plane. Like I could feel somebody over there doing something and affect it. And so I was getting in this trippy mindset, and then everyone starts kind of leaning, and the bouncy castle starts fully tipping over, bro. Because these are full-grown adults in a bouncy castle.
Oh, was it just swamped full of adults?
Yeah, it was all adults. We were at a party. Like, it was fucking nighttime. Like, it was...
Oh, so this is like adults only party, and you guys rocked up. Who's the genius of the bouncy castle?
Max.
Yeah. Shouts out to Max.
Shout out to Max, bro. He's a genius.
Yeah.
And he was just there. He's like, yeah, bro. I was like, fuck. He said it was like $80 or a couple $100 or something. He's like, it's so worth it. And I was like,
and he bought it outright, just rent it.
Rented it.
Rented it.
Yeah, just rent it for the night and just put it up. A bunch of people jump in it for a little bit and then put it back down.
Do you have to put it up yourself? Or
we just blew it up.
Yeah,
because we're adults.
Yeah. And you know,
did you get some adults to come help you? No.
Did you get your pen license yet?
Yeah. So bro, this bouncy castle, right, which is amazing that it's even there in the first place, is tipping over. And I'm still in the corner, and then for the first time ever, I start to feel a little bit of like, oh no. And I can't describe it any other way other than the entire universe was sort of enveloping on itself, and we were all becoming like this big conscious mush, right?
Yeah.
And I could feel it all closing in. I was like, nah, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so I started for the first time sort of creeping my way up through this bouncy castle.
Yeah.
And like, just trying to keep the balance the whole time.
Yeah.
Real
Oh,
slow.
so you went down on the bounce?
What? Nah.
Not down on the bounce at all.
I wasn't. I was, bro.
Yeah.
Take it to me, bro. I'm sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
I was chatting to some people. So I like
fucking bounce.
crawl my way up, right? And then somehow, like, because the balance is all going that way, but everybody can feel each other. So it's kind of like we're all sort of trying to like find the middle ground. And I was the middle ground, bro. Like by the time I got myself up out of the hole where the universe was fucking melting into, I like found myself, and I got to where I was flat and my hands and knees were like this, and I was like straight up and down. And by the time I did that, the whole bouncy castle was level again, and everybody was standing back up straight. Nobody was bouncing, and I just heard someone go, "What the fuck just happened?" And then I just crawled off the bouncy castle and just sat down, and I was like, "That."
You're like the bouncy castle whisperer.
I was in that moment.
Yeah.
I think I'd say it probably trades between, but for whatever reason, it didn't feel like a bouncy castle, bro. It felt like some universal, interconnected, physical, space-time consciousness shit
that's rad.
Doesn't. Yeah, it is rad.
That's fucking rad.
It is rad. And I mean, it just solidifies the point that the older you get, you should still do a bunch of random stuff that you used to do as a kid and just have fun with it, you know?
Yeah. Because I feel like everyone's on this illusion that it sounds pretty sad in a way, but that you're the main character and that everyone's watching you.
Right.
But realistically, like, no one's going to critique you as much as you probably critique you.
Right.
So it's like, just do whatever you want, because everyone's just going to forget what you did in a couple of weeks anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you don't, like, you know, do anything.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%.
In general,
you know what I mean? It's
we're
like,
the hat,
you can look at it in a real sad way, or you can look at it like, I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And there's kind of, like, there is rules, but like...
The only rule is consequences.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah. And
well, if you're rich, you can't, like if you're speeding and you get pulled over, it only really counts.
So crazy how your brain went there. I was just thinking that, like, fines only exist for people that can't afford to pay, as punishment for people
100%.
that can't afford to pay them.
Yeah, I lost my license for demerits, and then I just paid someone $1,500 and I got a work license.
Oh,
and I'm still driving.
Oh, man.
So it's just a matter of, like, if I had money to do that.
Yeah, you would have been fine.
So it's like, there is consequences, but, like,
Yeah.
Like there always is, but mediocre. Is that the word mediocre? Nah, like
Mediocre means like average or below average. Like,
yeah, like speeding tickets and like I can't think of anything else.
oh
But
yeah, I get what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Just basic fines, parking fines.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit
It only
like
matters
that.
if you're broke.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
Yeah, it's a different.
which is pretty sad, but
Yeah, and that's sort of where you can get into a discussion about sort of a lot of the problems with,
yeah,
just how this particular system affects people that aren't in a position to, afford those sorts of things. That wouldn't be
Yeah.
a big deal. But this is where I stand on all of it, bro, because I do believe that there is a lot of fucked up shit that's going on in the world.
oh, bro,
But
yeah,
But I also think that there's every opportunity to build whatever you want from this life.
yeah.
But the hard part about that is a lot of people don't have the foundational self-love.
Oh,
in
bro,
order to do
yeah,
that. That's the,
yeah.
and
Which
that's
is
where
fucking
it's-
heartbreaking.
It's rough, man. It's
Like
a
it
cycle.
definitely sucks when you just hear people work like they have these ambitions, but they're just like
Yeah.
so stuck in that way.
Yeah.
But back kind of the same but different. So like you drive a car, right?
Yeah.
And you pay a rego.
Yeah.
And there's a truck on the road. He pays a rego,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then so everything on the road pays a rego,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I'm driving, and then I see a cyclist,
Yeah.
and he's in his like real tight get up with
Yeah.
like all his buddies taking up all the road, and he gets his whole bike lane and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so they're putting my rego money in these roads for cyclists that they don't use, right?
Yeah.
Why don't they pay regos?
True. That's a good point.
Why can't
A bike pay registration.
like
I can see where you come
Yeah.
from. I don't have anything.
yeah.
I don't have anything to rebuttal that with. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's-
what? Where's the line on it? Like,
Mm.
if they're on the road and I have to pay a rego, and then, yeah, I don't know. I just thought about that the other day, but
I don't think it's a bad point at all.
yeah,
It's good, especially like you said, if the money from your rego is going towards their bike path.
yeah, I don't ride a bike.
Except like in town on the footpath.
yeah,
That's about it.
yeah. I guess that's why they don't do it. Is like, where's the line?
Yeah.
Like, is it like the tire size? Like, if the tire size is real skinny and you wear like the get up, you have to pay a rego. But if you're just like,
Nah,
If
I
you
reckon it'd be if you're on the road. If you're on the road and you're doing that regularly, then a cop has the opportunity to pull you over and be like registration. And if you don't have one, it's like, what are you doing on a main road?
and it would probably stop a few bikes getting stolen too. Because I'm
They're
guessing,
registered.
because you'd have to be
True.
registered, and then you couldn't just like steal one and then sell
This
it to
is a
someone.
great idea, bro.
You know?
That's a really good idea.
Stops a bit of theft.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit more of a consequence.
True.
It'd be like a little VIN tag on
Yeah.
engraved on the bike. But I
Yeah.
guess it's like, how much are you gonna charge them?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it's like Harleys and stuff.
Mm.
Like they pay way more in regos, don't they?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I swear their regos are real expensive. Or what? Maybe it's insurance. I don't know. I'm probably wrong.
Insurance would make sense.
Yeah,
Shit, dude. Like anything with a motorbike, bro. That thing hits anything, it's fucked.
Oh, bro.
You'd have to have high rates for a motorbike, bro.
Yeah.
Those things aren't winning the collisions. There's no
Oh, no
scenario
way.
where a bike comes out on top. Even if you like ran into a person, there's a good chance that's going to throw you off and send the bike as well. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like there's anything you can hit into on a bike that you're going to be like, oh, lucky it was that. It's like you're probably going to die. Or your bike is at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they look cool.
They
and
do.
they sound cool.
Yeah, and they're
They
a lot
look
of
like
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we have them.
And that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and that's
As if it's fun.
bro, because and that's the thing. Okay, so you've
Risk
got
reward.
we've created this crazy system, bro, all based around just people that were like, I'm bored and I'm hungry, and it's like, all right, well, there's food, so I'm still bored. Well, here's some stuff to do, and that's
And they were jumping out of planes.
yeah, jumping out of planes, bro. Fucking, we had a dude jump from space. There was a guy
Yeah, I
that
seen
jumped
that.
from space. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna jump from
Imagine
the
how
edge
much
of the atmosphere,
yeah.
bro.
Imagine how bored of like just not life, but like how much you must seek adrenaline to be like, I'm gonna jump from space.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do something.
Yeah,
And of course it's sponsored by Red Bull.
of course.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is a buzzy marketing tactic. Like they
Bull's
never really
smart,
Red Bull
bro.
like really they never really promote the drink.
No,
They
they just
just-
promote extreme sports and shit,
Yeah,
which is genius.
yeah. It's I don't know how that even.
I've never
ends up
once seen a
working,
video
but-
of somebody like drinking a Red Bull and being like, Red Bull. You know, it's like, no.
Bro, you see that? It was years ago, but someone sued Red Bull
For what?
because he jumped off his roof and didn't have wings. Bro, he won.
Because Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah. And then now on the back of the can, it's got like real little. It's like Red Bull does not actually give you wings. So they sued him and he won and he got like, I don't know how much, but it was fucking up there. It was like millions of dollars.
Sometimes I just don't know if I'm putting my energy in the right place in life. You know, like I could jump off a roof
Yeah.
and I could get millions of
Well,
dollars.
it got me thinking. It's like about like it got me thinking about like what's the Snickers one?
Gives you nuts.
Oh,
What
what's
is
the other
it?
one? It's like not you if you're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I wonder if you. And then the more I thought about it, I don't think you can do anything with that. But like,
Nah,
it's everyone's little slogan. I was like, I wonder if you could.
You can't kill someone and be like, no, I was hungry. Snickers said, it's not
Bro.
me if I'm hungry. It's
Yeah,
like, there's not going to hold up anywhere, ever. And the reason is because it's an after effect, not a before effect. Red Bull gives you wings. Snickers makes you you.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That's not, it's like, congratulations, you were you before you had a Snickers, and now you're you and you're not hungry. It's like,
Yeah.
It's not
so,
actually-
so that's actually a really genius slogan because
Yeah.
they avoided getting sued for millions of dollars.
literally, bro. Fuck.
Yeah.
Do you hear the Pepsi guy?
The Pepsi guy.
Yeah, there's a guy that it was something to do with him. Pepsi saying that if you, there's like a free jet or something, bro. If you got a certain amount of Pepsi or did a certain amount of things or whatever.
Yeah, and they just assumed that no one was actually going to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it was a situation of it being an exaggeration or them just sort of being like, yeah, you do enough of this and you get a free jet or whatever. And it was like, no one's going to do that, and he did it, and yeah, I think he got the jet, eh?
Oh,
Yeah, which is crazy. But I don't know. There's a shit reference, but there's people out there doing it, man. They're looking at these big companies finding holes and taking millions of dollars and walking away, and it's like,
There's this dude in America
it's just fascinating.
who buys like written off Ferraris and stuff
Yeah.
that don't run, but they look mint, right? And all he does is instead of like leasing out this car that people can drive, is that he just like will drop it off to your house and like you'll shoot your music video or like try to be an influencer.
Oh, bro.
Bro, I kid you not.
Great idea.
And then he buys like just the inside of a like a private jet,
Yeah.
and then he puts a green screen on the window. And if you pay enough, then you can get someone to bring you a feed, and it's got the green screen,
Oh my god.
and it looks like you're out in the sky, and it's all for people
music
that want to
videos.
look a certain way online, like online influencers that want to look like they've got something that they don't.
Holy shit.
Or
That's a
like
great
people to
business.
shoot. Yeah. He's got like, he's got a couple tow trucks and
Yeah.
then a warehouse with like 3 private jets in them.
Whoa.
Yeah, genius, eh?
Yeah.
And he's just got this warehouse with all these Ferraris and just exotic cars that don't run, and he just chucks them on tow trucks, drops them off. People make their like want to look a certain way. They pay him like obviously less than what it would cost to lease the Ferrari out for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
genius.
Yeah. There's a lot of crazy pockets of jobs and industries that have been created by the internet, bro.
Yeah, you could sit on TikTok live and just like do those weird sounds and be like, "Thank you for the gifts."
That's so crazy.
I don't understand that, eh?
I don't understand it either, bro. It
Because
doesn't-
I haven't
Have
really
you ever-
looked into it. But so I work and make money, and then I give it to someone who goes, "Thank you for the gift," and I give it to them. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
And there's heaps of people that do that.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. That's crazy, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never met anyone who like
So
has openly given money to people on TikTok. for
my
gifts.
my guess is that it's either people with fucking heaps of money that like playing with people and like to see them do things, or
like a sugar daddy.
yeah, or it's other people that are also doing it that are just like supporting, and then a whole bunch of like farms, you know, like Instagram bot farms.
What do the bots do though?
Have
They
you
just sit there. They just sit there and.
have you ever heard of like stream farming and shit?
Nah. Oh, like I have, but I don't understand it.
It's literally a whole. Just imagine an entire wall or a room full of phones on stands or hung on the wall, right? All have different Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
All are completely separate.
Yeah.
And then somebody calls up the person who owns all the phones and says, "I want 1 million streams," and he's like, "Sweet," and then he just presses play on every Spotify account that he has on those phones, on every Instagram reel that he has on those phones, and then those phones, say he's got 100,
Yeah.
every 3 minutes they produce 300 views, you know, like, or whatever, you know, of like a 3-minute video or a 3-minute song.
And it sits on repeat.
And then it just loops. And then people pay that person to stack up their streams and shit, and they do it for Instagram videos, they do it for all sorts of stuff, so it looks like it's organic streams, but it's actually not.
And then because everyone's watching it, then when I click on my phone,
It comes
I
up.
will see it.
Yeah.
And then it bumps it more.
Yeah. And
But
then
Instagram doesn't pay you any money. It's
No.
only TikTok,
I mean,
I think, because of the ads.
yeah, TikTok, yes, but I mean, in terms of like, I was just sort of saying in general, in terms of getting exposure. Because once you have exposure, you get money. If you have 30K on Instagram followers, you can make money.
Yeah, because
You
you
know?
can promote other people's stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You do sponsorship shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also thought of like this weird full circle when I was on YouTube last night,
Yeah.
and it was like there's an ad, so I was like skip. So like someone's paid to put their ad there,
Yeah.
but then I can pay, so then I don't see their ad.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird full circle of this ad.
Yeah. And it all goes back to YouTube.
Yeah, this goes back to YouTube.
YouTube's getting paid to have ads.
Yeah, and then
And paid
I'm
to
paying
not
you
have
to
ads.
not have ads.
Yeah.
I was like, that's also genius.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's some crazy thing, like, whoever, is it Google owns YouTube now?
Yeah, who owns YouTube?
I'm pretty sure it's Google, but they bought it for, I think, I want to say $1 billion, or, yeah, I want to say...
Bro, $1 billion is an insane amount of money.
It is.
Because what is it?
37,000 years and seconds. Oh, no.
No, 30. It's
37
13
years?
seconds. Yeah, 13
Yeah.
seconds is a mil.
Yeah.
I mean, not fuck.
1 million seconds
13 days.
is a
is a million
seconds.
seconds.
And 37 years is 1 billion seconds. That's right.
Yeah,
37,000.
that's insane.
Do you want to hear another crazy number, bro?
Yeah.
How much, how many hours, months, or years of YouTube content do you think that there is online right now?
Oh fuck.
That's crazy.
Oh, it'd be out the gate.
Zonnie and I figured it out, bro.
How the fuck did you figure this out?
Well, we looked at how much content was on YouTube and then turned that into, like, you obviously got a certain amount of time there.
Yeah.
And then you turn that into, you know, seconds and then
Yeah.
months,
Yeah.
years.
How long did it take you?
Nah, like, fuck, 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's quick as.
Yeah,
You
okay.
You just got to look
I want
up.
to say 125 years.
600,000 years, bro.
Like I was close.
Yeah.
I was right on
I
money.
almost want to look it up again. I feel like I could be underselling it. I'm pretty sure it's 600,000 years, bro.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. And that's just
You know,
that's just till now.
Yeah.
And there's
probably more now.
more
yeah.
being uploaded now than there ever has been, which means in the same amount of time from YouTube being created till now,
Yeah.
if you double that, it won't be, you know, 1,200,000.
No, because it's taken a while. Yeah.
It's exponential. So
Yeah.
it's like
I
people
did
are
see-
putting up fucking years of content a day on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like, or
Yeah, true.
maybe it's like thousands of hours or something, but
Yeah.
it's so crazy, bro. And how are we supposed to consume all of that? Like, we're not. It's not the point of it. It's just the exact same as the whole idea of having resources and being secure. It's like, at this point, we're just overfilling a barrel that's already full.
We know too much almost. Do you reckon?
I think I don't know. I don't think we know too much. I think that we
don't know how the pyramids were made, but apart from that.
I think we underdo. I think we overthink and underdo.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
think about what it takes to do, right? Imagine that.
So yeah,
Imagine you're trying to get something small done that affects, like, say you're trying to get something changed in just Napier, right?
yeah,
Community of, like, I don't know, what, 100,000?
yeah,
Maybe?
yeah. I'd probably say about that.
Let's stab there. 100, 150, something like that, right? And in order to do anything like that, that isn't supported entirely by those 150,000 people. You have to fucking go through so many councils and all these boards and shit in order to get something to happen, which is a process, which could take a year or whatever. And then congratulations, now there's a new mirror on the corner of your road so that you can see when you drive out. But then you try to compare that to like a big scale thing of something that affects an entire country.
Because you were saying about the food. Yeah. Because I've got to add to this thing.
Yeah, go, bro. Cool.
With the So what's your idea? It's
to free.
Subsidize.
It's free. It's the whole clickbait title was free food, water, and shelter. Like housing. You know.
Yeah.
But it's whatever steps get towards that direction.
Yeah.
But in general, I just want to chat to people about it because of the fact that I don't think people chat about it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why. So yeah, so those are the three. Yeah. So what was your thing?
You were saying, like subsidize, like basic.
Yeah, meat, milk, bread.
Fucking, right.
Right. Shit like that.
So, and you're saying you have to take it. You take it to like a panel. Yeah. You take it to a panel.
Yeah.
And then eventually goes to the government.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, hypothetically, it gets there. Mm-hmm. The government's going to turn around and say, well, we've already made these tax cuts. We can't afford to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Standard.
Okay.
Right. So this is where my idea comes in. So there's no capital gains tax in New Zealand. So like you're probably sitting there like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Right? So if I buy a house and I live in it, doesn't matter for how long, and then I sell it, I don't pay any tax on if I made money on it. So if I bought it for 500,000 and I sell it for 700,000, I don't get taxed. Yeah, I just get it. Yeah, I just get that 200k.
Mate.
Right?
Okay.
Which is sick.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So I buy another house and another house and another house and another house.
Yeah.
And then now, on average in New Zealand, like all the really rich people pay about 9% tax because most of their revenues coming from like just selling houses and like property.
Yeah.
So you're like, sweet, now I know how to like get rich, but it's fucking impossible to buy a house. It's not, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's difficult.
Yeah. And then, so it's come up before that there's no capital gains tax, and they turn around and they go, oh, well, we want everyone to get on the property ladder so then, you know, everyone has a chance, right? Which is fair, right? So they don't have to pay this tax, right?
In concept.
Yeah, in concept. But so then that's why they shut it down.
Yeah.
But we know the real reason. So my thing is, why don't you do first 3 or 4 houses?
Yeah.
No tax. Anything past that, it becomes a revenue. Okay. Because if you sell anything more than like 8 cars a year, you have to get a license and pay tax on your profits that you make off selling cars.
Okay.
But it's got that threshold of like.
Now you're not just a random dude selling cars. You're a car
salesman. Yeah.
Same with houses.
Yeah. Why can't you do the same? And then with that money, use that to subsidize like the food, and if there's any extra, like maybe like mental health, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I do. Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have a capital gains tax.
No. There's fuck all tax when it comes to selling houses in New Zealand. There's like, if you do heaps of research, it's like you might get stung with some tax if you like. It's pretty hard. Basically, it's pretty hard to get stung with tax when you sell a house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Or on profit.
Yeah.
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 I'm all for it. I think.
Yeah, I reckon.
You're never going to get pushback from me in terms of anything that contributes towards this concept coming to life.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that would be a great contributing factor. I think that
I'm also lazy enough to not do anything about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the thing.
So this is where when you have a bunch of people that are willing to do a little, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
But when you have few people that want to do a little, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
The point of the conversation concept isn't necessarily to make anything happen. It's just to get enough people that are willing to do a little to be like, we should do this. And it's like, are you willing to tick a box? Yeah, I can tick a box.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. I can tick a box, you know?
But I'm like, how would you even write? Because you're like, subsidize, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, write that. And then you have to write this whole paragraph about capital gains tax.
Right.
and then try and convince people on that.
Well, see, this is where complexity isn't our friend, right? In these situations, and I believe that wholeheartedly from spending a lot of time sitting with my own thoughts and trying to come up with a fix-all. It's not really like there's one specific thing that does it, and I think that what really does it is actually a collective effort towards it. I think something like creating free food or heavily subsidized food anywhere in the world is going to be an arduous task that's going to take a generation.
For sure.
And
for sure.
What really backs it is actually the majority of people wanting it to happen, not necessarily what's going to happen. And that's proven with stuff like every war ever, fucking people doing terrible shit for reasons that people support. The terrible things happen. And so all I'm saying is that there's probably a trillion things you could support within this lifetime that you want to put yourself towards. And there's a lot of really specific, complex ideas that you could break down and go, how does this affect this, and all sorts of stuff like that in the system.
Yeah.
But the reason for me simplifying it so much is because a big problem with the world isn't that we don't know enough. It's that everybody's educated to a different level about different things.
Yeah.
But one thing that everybody can understand is that if they don't eat, they die. And if they don't have somewhere to stay, they're in trouble. No matter where you are on the spectrum of knowledge about politics or life, you know that if you don't eat, you're going to die.
And you know that you want somewhere to stay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the point there is that if there was going to be a vote, if we were going to do, it's called a citizens initiate referendum, right? And it basically means you can get the whole country to vote on something if you have, I think 10,000 is the minimum number of signatures, but, imagine if you had 500,000 people, a million people.
But the more signatures, the more likely it is to...
The bigger the backing, the more likely it is to kind of go through. And so if you have something as simple as not a decision that people have to make about how food, water, and shelter is going to be made free, but more so just a question of whether they want to do it. Like, do you think that the New Zealand government should be putting time and effort and money into figuring out how to make food, water, and shelter free or heavily subsidized within New Zealand over the next 50 years? If that's something that people want to do, then great. If not, then throw it on the burning pile and go back to just fucking around. Beyond that, we're not going to... No, in my opinion.
Yeah, because my idea, I think, is a good idea. But if no one else thinks it's a good idea,
then the whole concept gets scrapped.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's no point. Why am I going to sit there and push this idea and try to convince people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to convince people.
No.
It's about finding people who already feel the same way in an idea that's good. There could be, there's 5 million people in New Zealand. There could be 4 million people that are like, this is a fucking great idea. I just haven't met them all. There could be 3 million people. That's over half, in New Zealand that are just like, yep. And that's not that many people. You talk about a million and billion thing. There's 7 billion people, right?
Yeah.
1 million people or 5 million people in New Zealand, that's 5 million out of 1,000 million.
We're almost like the better cornerstone because we're so little.
And we can produce all our own food.
Yeah.
And we can produce all our own water. And we can produce all our own houses. We don't need outside people to do that.
True.
Which is why we're the perfect place to
we're pretty much elite, low key. We're just like...
Yeah. We just gave all of our fucking industry away to overseas because we don't want to produce anything that fucks the environment up. So we send all of the stuff that we make overseas so that other people can put it through the processes that it needs to go through in order to be usable.
Wait, so if I get an apple...
No. Not so much food, but it's stuff like wood. We don't really have places that can, on a huge scale, deal with the amount of wood that we produce. That's why the port is just full of trees because they're taking it other places to go fucking get it done.
Yeah, true.
And we pay those people to do that process, and then they charge us for giving them stuff that we then buy back off them so that we can have, even though we made the resource. We're the production country. We're one of the production countries. We make shit and we put it out there.
It's like if you have a solar panel on your house and you can sell your power back to the government or back to the electricity people.
Yeah.
And it's you might sell it for 30 cents per whatever the meterage. But you'd buy it back for 90.
Exactly.
It's
that's a trip. That's a trip. But the point is that there's a huge amount of restructuring that would need to happen in terms of where and how the majority, or just in general, the amount of food and shit that we're making, where it goes and how it goes, where it goes, and what that looks like for our economy. Because we produce so many, let's just use onions for example. We produce so many onions that we can't sell it to anyone except for China, because China's the only place that has enough people to actually want all of our onions. Either that, or we have to sell little bits of onions to everywhere else. And it's like, where are you going to sell it? Europe's fucking doing what we're doing.
Easy, yeah.
They're producing their own. Yeah. America's getting it from Europe or fucking getting it themselves. It's like, we don't actually have a place where we can sell our shit, which means if we don't sell our shit to China, who then has all of these fucking things that come with it, if we don't do that, we don't make enough money to keep the economy ticking along, because our main produce is something that we literally can't consume if we kept it. We have to sell it.
It's crazy, eh?
Otherwise it just rots in the ground and the farming industry goes to shit.
Yeah.
So
that's fucking crazy, eh?
So yeah, it is. It's fucking crazy.
So you almost have like a truce with like China, like keep buying our onions, please.
Well, yeah, pretty much. And China's like, yeah, fine, but do you mind if we just like come take a bit of land and maybe put up a couple of things and maybe we just do you think maybe if we give you a little bit of a discount on this, we can do that? And that's the thing about it all, is that it gets more confusing the more you read into it, which is why it's such a hard conversation.
Exactly, because every time I've deep dived, it like just fucking consumes me. And then I just get shitty at the world. You know, and then I have to step back and be like, oh, it's not that bad. But like,
it's not that bad.
Bro. It's like, I have it good, you know, like I have a car, a house. You know, well, like somewhere to stay.
You got the things.
And I got work, and it's like, why do I need to push for more? I've got what I need. You know.
And so that's the second side of the conversation for me, is that it's not so much about just talking to people about the concept and potentially making it happen and all that sort of stuff. It's also about asking people that are in a position like you are, with everything that you need. Are you doing what you want now? Because in a world where food, water, and shelter is free, there's no more excuses for like, well, I don't have everything I need, so I can't do what I want. Because you do have everything you need, so you can do what you want. But there's a lot of people that have what they need and don't do what they want. So then it becomes like, as Wilsey put it the first time we did a podcast, which will never be released to the world because I was so stoned. But he said, I said, do you think it'll make life easier? You know, and he said, I think it'll make it easier physically, but it won't make it easier mentally.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is like, you need some sort of a struggle. Like, I have the car, the phone, the blah, 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 in exchange for this amount of stress and work that I do to afford said thing. Where if that was free, then as the only thing we're buying is luxury items. Like. But then that has to come to an expense of like, is that luxury item going to be so heavily taxed?
Nah, think about it this way, right?
You know what I mean? Like, because that money has to come from somewhere. Someone's paying for it.
I agree. And so if you think about it in the way of, firstly, let's answer the struggle question, right? Where's the struggle? So the two things you listed was your phone and your car, which both need to be insured, paid for, upkept, looked after, and maintained.
Oh, bro,
right? So
and
that's just two things.
Stupid.
Exactly. These three things are foundational things. They're massive. And once you get rid of them as something you have to pay for, in your mind, you're like, well, now I don't have any struggles. But you still have to pay for power. You still have to pay for all of your clothes. You still have to like pay for all the food that you want that isn't basic food. You still, you know, you want some Doritos, bro? Like, they're not free. Doritos aren't free. They don't come under the guidelines for shit that people deserve for free. You want chocolate, you want you want alcohol, you want cigarettes, you want all of that. You still have to pay for all of it.
But it's like the milk, the bread.
That's all subsidized.
Eggs.
So
which is...
The point here is that like, if you can accept that there is still going to be a struggle, it's not going to be easy. Because your perception of it, I might be wrong, but like, you already do what you want to do.
100%.
So you're like, oh, so I just keep tattooing and now I don't have to pay for food, water, and shelter. So no struggle. But that's like, that's life. That's actually living. That's not surviving. That's the point. You shouldn't be surviving. We've survived. We've hunted everywhere. We've discovered everywhere. Why are we still surviving? Like, the struggle should be figuring out how to like live your life in the way that's best for you. Like figuring out that system. And that's
because I'm like super blessed to be able to know what I'm doing and not, and be like, sweet, like this is me. This is what I want to do. because I worked so many stupid jobs, and I was like, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
And I hated it. Like it's like the idea is like I'm 5 minutes late, and then the boss is like, "That's a written warning."
Yeah.
It's like, bro, I didn't know I was still in primary school. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you gotta give me a fucking detention, bro. It's like, how about you just, if you're a boss,
Yeah.
just go and on Monday and just go, this is what you need to get done before Friday. But
Yeah.
you know, and then Friday you done it. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Not this like 5 minute. What the fuck is just? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you drill me for 5 minutes late, but you never give me like a fucking gold star when I'm 5 minutes like past what my 9 to 5 was. You know, like
yeah. It's got to go both ways.
yeah.
But
yeah.
you've taken that and gone, okay, well, where do I find my joy? Where do I find my
Yeah,
bliss?
yeah.
Like, what is the thing that I get enough enjoyment out of that I can also get paid for, that I can make a living on?
That also gives me enough stress.
Exactly.
Because you need to have this. It's not all easy. Like you do, you need to have that balance.
Name a job that's easy, bro. Name a job that has zero stresses and is enjoyable.
I reckon
you know?
Sitting on TikTok would get like even doing that live stream about thank you for the gift. Like that's got to be so draining.
Mind numbing, bro.
Yeah.
Mind numbing. That's not even. What is that?
Yeah.
You know, people with like, I've seen dudes scooping piles of sugar, and there's a boy jar and a girl jar.
Yeah, but I seen
and they're like depending on the votes are like filling up, and it's like how much money are you making? Like, how can that be worthwhile to scoop sugar into a jar for,
well, it all
for a day?
depends. How much is it worth it? It depends on the price tag at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, he probably, like, would you do that for $5 a day?
No.
No. But if I said 10K a day, you'd be like, oh.
I could scoop some sugar.
Yeah. It's the price
Where's
tag.
the spoon?
Because, yeah. Fucking, where's the sugar? Where's the spoon? But it's like, sign me up. You know?
Yeah. But
that's the limit. Like that's where your line is of like, this is worth, like me doing that is worth it for this amount of money, and with this amount of money I can like pay my rent, blah blah.
Yeah.
Which I think is that full circle of like why people work the job that they don't really like, but it pays enough for them to go on holiday like once every 4 years.
Yeah.
You know? And they get their 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
Yeah. And two, it's not as if everybody's entire level of happiness comes from just what they're doing for work. Like, you could have a miserable job and be with the love of your life, you know?
Oh, yeah, exactly that.
You do whatever the fuck you got to do to provide
which is low key something I thought about with the old bird at the gas station that's worked there for 25 years.
Yeah.
Every other aspect of your life is probably mint.
Yeah.
Where like, yeah. Just gotta find. Yeah, I guess it's just finding that balance of like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a real interesting one to consider, the fact that everyone's gonna find a place, or everyone is in a place whether they find a place or not. You know, you're somewhere. Everybody's somewhere doing something, and it's totally up to the individual. Every single day you wake up, you have the opportunity to be like, okay, am I gonna continue to do this that is making me miserable, or am I going to look for the excitement and the joy that I used to find as a little kid in something, and also acknowledge that no matter what that is there's going to be work involved. Like, do I have enough energy and self-worth to do that? Because there's nothing is free, and that's kind of the basis of this whole conversation, which means anything you do you can be paid for, which means that you can do anything. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing's free, so everything that you want to do, you can get paid for. Even more so now with the internet. You know? You could literally juggle and film yourself. There's people that skip to songs. They just skip. Do handstands.
Bro, that's like...
It's like, what? That's a living.
Yeah, skipping that would be pretty tiring though.
Yeah, but like, you know, you'd be fit.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about skipping on TikTok Live. I mean like... little videos of them doing skipping to a song that's popular and then posting it, and there's skins that they're sponsored by somebody that they're wearing, you know, and then they make a couple grand off a video, and then they do that everywhere. They get a following of 100,000 on TikTok for being a pretty girl or guy that skips, and you know, there's a million things you can do.
Well, like that's a buzzy one. That I don't even know if it's legit. Sorry if it is to anyone who does the hobby horsing.
What's hobby horsing?
Bro, it's like, have you never heard of hobby? But
you're so excited, tell me.
it's like, you know, like a stick with like a foam
horse head
on it, and they like hold it and just run around and like jump over the horse thing.
Yeah,
and I think it's legit.
it's a thing people do.
Yeah, I kind of have to show you, bro.
Yeah, fair. Find it. I
Yeah.
think I've seen people that do that with jousting and shit. Dudes full dressed in armor,
Is it called hobby horsing?
running
How the fuck do you spell
with
horse?
HORSE. There's definitely people that do run around on horse heads and fight with them too, like they're riding a knight, like riding a horse.
Yeah. Don't give me an ad. He's gonna give me an ad, eh?
Hobby horse championship.
Bro, yeah, it's legit. It's
with
legit.
3
Oh,
exclamation marks.
I think it's legit.
Oh my god, they got the edit and everything.
Yeah. Like, what do you get marked on? Like your gullet and stuff. You know, like, is this like I'm not trying to be a hater because
it's like the air guitar of horse riding.
Because I'm not trying to flex. I reckon I'll be mean at it.
Yeah.
Like I'm taking out that championship. Like I was mean at high jump, so like fucking sign me up.
Straight up.
See?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They actually do it.
They ain't fucking around.
Oh my god, and they do the trots and everything.
Bro, it's legit. I think it's legit, bro. I don't know how to.
Okay, so that's like a whole convention. That's a real thing. That's definitely. You wouldn't have a whole thing like that. There's an edit. Somebody went into the effort of paying somebody to film and edit that.
So then is it a sport?
Yeah. It looks like it. I mean, they're all jumping over hurdles and shit.
Yeah, I reckon I'll be mean at it.
Do it.
Yeah. Any hobby
if
hobby
there's any,
horsing,
Hobby Horse New Zealand.
Yeah,
reach
Hobby
out.
Horse, Hawke's Bay.
We'll make sure that Zach's info is in the description.
Yeah.
Reach out. Could have your next 2025 champion on your hands right now.
Yeah.
Just sitting in Hawke's Bay.
Yeah.
Dude. What a crazy way to make a living. Dude,
Yeah, I'm guessing you'd make a living off that.
people make a living off having dogs, just like
breeding
taking them to
dogs.
shows.
Yeah, the dog thing's wild. And then and like the cat thing, and they like stretch the cat out,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, look at look at this cat.
Look at him.
It's a tabby."
Oh my god, bro. Yeah, there's definitely a way to make money off pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we've
Well, everything seems
succeeded in
dumb
some
until
ways,
it
but-
works.
Yeah.
That's what I realized as well.
Yeah.
So everyone gives you shit until it works.
Have you heard the one mystics swim in the water that crazy drowns in?
Mystic.
A mystic swims in the water that crazy drowns in. And so what that means is like there's a bunch of people in this just imagine in the analogy there's a bunch of people in the water being like, come on, yeah, this is where it's at. And they're all drowning. It's like those people are crazy. But then one guy doesn't drown and like gets in and gets out. And everyone's like, oh my god, it's possible. Like
Yeah.
what and it's basically like somebody doing something outrageous or crazy
Sticks out too much.
that sticks out so much that people are like, that's crazy. But when they continue to succeed at that thing, they become a mystic. It's like, how did they see that? How did they see that pocket? How did they figure that out? What a enlightened person to be able to do that. And it's like, no, well, they were just determined in what you would consider to be crazy.
It's almost like that. Is it crabs?
Crabs?
And you put if you get crabs, I think, I'm swear I'm going to butcher this, but like, like, you get crabs and then one tries, and you put them in a bucket or like a cage.
Yeah.
Put like 8 of them in there.
Yeah.
And then like one will try get up, and then like as it gets to the top, you like shiv it, right? And then the other crabs are like, fuck that. I don't want to get out because he just died.
Yeah.
And then the next one goes up, and then they do the same. And then as one dies, they add another one in, and then eventually you've got a bunch of crabs. None will climb the ladder, but none of them have witnessed the other crab dying.
True.
So they all just stay there on this rumor that if you go up there, you're going to die, but none of them has witnessed it. It's just like word of mouth.
Really?
You get what I mean? So it's like, no one wants to stick out.
I've heard that one, but they start...
Is it crabs?
Yeah, but don't they start actually when crabs try to climb out?
Oh yeah, they pull them down. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Because I've heard a similar one with...
That's it.
With rats and... No. It was people. Same shit. So they put people in a doctor's room, and then there was a bell that rang, and every time the bell rang, everyone would stand up except for one person who didn't know about it.
Yeah,
and then
the next time,
and then they'd sit back down, and then they rotate the room until nobody that was originally in the room was in the room, and everybody still stands up when the bell goes off.
Yeah.
So it's like,
no one wants to stick out.
nah, it's like the elevator one. You've seen people go into an elevator, and then like 3 people walk in, and the guy obviously is facing the door where you exit, and then they all turn around and face the back wall, and they'll join them. They'll like face the back wall of the elevator because everybody else is turning around facing the other way.
I did see that thing. It was like assert dominance when you go in an elevator and like not turn around.
Yeah.
And I just be that one dude.
Yeah. Just looking
like,
against the wall.
Yeah.
Assert dominance. But that's the thing, bro. Free will is crazy. You know, you can just do whatever you want, but we have such a pack mentality because that's how we've survived for so long. It's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing to be a part of something.
Exactly.
Especially when being a part of something means you're going to survive. And
it's
just a matter of finding the right pocket. Think about with a kid. Like, you want your kid to be accepted by society, but you don't want your kid to be manipulated, and you don't want your kid to go out there and think that everything is at face value and all of that sort of stuff.
Fine line, eh? Like, you want them to like blend in but have their own opinion and act on it like to this degree.
Yeah, I think it's blend in as in like be a part of it, not like
that's it. Yeah.
Because it's just, but it's troubling, bro. And this is another.
I feel like you're never gonna like fully. Like, you're not gonna be able to fully just cut you off, and I can't even get it out.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say that this is one of those things that is probably, in terms of food, water, shelter, one of the most exciting concepts for me is the reason for doing it. Like, what's the reason? What's the goal at the end of it? It's not just free food, water, and shelter, because that's not something that most people can't provide for themselves, you know, or are being provided by the government now with fucking the benefit and shit, right? We're in a great place for that. People have it. So what's the end goal by giving it to them in a different means? It's like the different means is more time. That's what it's doing. You have more time now, which means that you have a kid, right? You don't have to go to work now. Your kid's fed.
Yeah, true.
He's got a house over his head, you know, so you can just look after him and love him and turn that, you know, little boy or girl into a good, well-rounded human for the next 5 years before they go to school.
So, what you're really trying to push out is this idea of just being in like a livable environment where like one person can work and like the partner can stay home with the kid and they can afford that.
Yep.
But the easier option is just to subsidize the food.
Yeah, because then both people can stay home.
No, because you still have to pay rent.
Why? Housing's free.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but then there's no struggle, bro.
Got to pay for power and baby's clothes. And all that kind of stuff,
so you might work like a 30-hour week.
Yeah, just work less.
Yeah,
you're just home way more. That's all. It's not like you don't have to work at all.
Yeah,
like parents are at home. I say that. I always say, oh, thank God. I always say a very exaggerated and simplified version of everything for the purpose of getting into the mindset of it, because sometimes the extreme is actually what helps people sort of, in my experience, kind of get to that conclusion of like, but what about how are you going to pay for the power and stuff? It's like, okay, do a 30-hour week. But if you say, oh, well, people are still going to have to work. It's like, well, then what's the point? It's like, well, they work less during a time where they need more time to raise a human.
Yeah.
Or maybe raise themselves, because this is a thing, bro. There'll be a whole bunch of people that just need to take some time, you know? Heal up.
Yeah, because I don't actually know how any of it works, but so everything's been hit with heaps of inflation. So how the fuck do you like uninflate?
Okay, so how
you know what I mean?
How inflation works is it's all obviously dependent upon each economy. Each country has their own different levels of inflation at different times. But that level of inflation is dictated by how much money that country owes the Reserve Bank, right? So the Reserve Bank prints money, and then that
the Reserve Bank in New Zealand being England? No.
The Reserve Bank is above all everything. It's like, it's not
every currency.
Everything. Yeah. It's like,
so there's like a bank
that distributes money for everybody.
for every currency.
For everything, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, so they're the start of the money paper trail, right?
Yeah.
Now, I give New Zealand $500 billion, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, here you go, this is for whatever the fuck you need it for, and you have to pay it back to me at this interest rate, right? Because that's what inflation is. It's inflation of interest rates. It's like...
Yeah, okay.
And so the Reserve Bank goes, all right, New Zealand, this is where your interest rate is right now because we need money back. But also... the government then, so the government and then the banks below that, it's all a trickle-down effect of them being like, we need a certain amount of money to be paid back to the central bank or the Reserve Bank so that we can fucking pay back what we've got.
Get rid of our tick.
Get rid of our tick so that we can get more money.
Yeah.
So we can go into more shit, right? And how New Zealand controls that is by going, okay, now we're going to increase interest rates on fucking all of these things so that the working class... doesn't spend as much money on frivolous bullshit like buying stuff that they can't afford to pay back or like buying a TV, creating more loans. Instead, people are like, all right, let's just focus on buying the main things that we need, our necessities, because everything's inflated right now, so I don't have extra money to spend elsewhere. So all of the money that gets spent then gets spent on stuff that's highly taxable goods that goes towards the government, which means that they can then pay off their debt to the central bank, which then means they can lower their interest rates, which means we can lower our interest rates, which means that people can then go out again and start buying a bunch of random frivolous shit, which is really good for the economy. So
so we're just like, and right now we're in
a phase of keeping it tight.
So it should drop down.
That's the idea. Right.
But so you got to ride the wave.
But this is the big misconception, and this is what I've been learning.
But it's also not backed by gold anymore.
No, it's not at all. And so this is the thing. It's all an idea, and it's all a promise, and it's all based upon this concept of...
They said they would, so they will.
Yeah, they said they would, so they will. But also energy, right? It's like, where and in what way are the people within your economy distributing their energy? And that's where it comes down to, like, morale has a huge part to play in all of this. The human element of the economy and the idea of money flow is what makes money such a direct, have such a direct relationship with energy. And there's actually proof of this, like the GDP and the amount of energy being made in the world or in whatever a specific economy is like. The relationship between those two things is directly correlated, like really fucking close to being exact. And that's all real confusing, but the point I'm trying to make here is that people think that money gets printed from the central bank. Like, here's some money.
Yeah.
And then whenever shit
So how much was like, because there's a big influx of like, counterfeit money.
Yeah.
So how
does that affect everything?
Yeah.
It's just like anything else. It's like...
because it'll just be its own ecosystem kind of mixed.
Yeah, it mixed in within it, but it's also really, illegal. So it's like,
it
doesn't really, it'll affect things, but that's where it comes down to people saying, oh, if anything bad goes happen, like, for example, the fucking Great Depression and shit like that, if anything bad goes happen, the central bank's just going to print enough money so that we can get ourselves out of it. But
why would they do that if they're not making money on the interest?
Huh?
Like,
no, they're still going to make money off the interest eventually because you're a population full of people that's going to pay it back over time, over years.
But if you print more money, so then the interest rate
the interest rate goes up, but it's also
So where does this interest rate money go?
So the interest rate money will go back to pay off the debts that have been taken by the country. So here's all the money that we've been accruing, slowly going back towards feeding off the money that we took from you in the first place.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like, people think that the central bank can just print money and everything's going to be fine and there's no bad side to it all. But the truth is that every time the central bank prints money, it devalues the amount of money that's in the thing.
Which is the gold theory.
Which is the gold theory. But the gold standard is like all based around the idea of there being a central thing that all money can then have a direct baseline value to.
Exactly.
But the truth of it is that doesn't work within the scale and the complexity of the economies that we have anymore. It did at a certain point, but not really now.
Yeah, because one, the gold's scarce.
True.
And two, we didn't have all the gold in the first place.
Yeah.
So like you could go find
but it's
gold.
like an amount of gold is like ratio to an amount of money. It's not like all gold versus all money. It's more like this much gold is worth this much money and that's going to stay true forever.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. It's like it wavers because it's not a specific thing.
Yeah.
So...
and on average, gold is worth more as time goes on.
Well, it has been.
Yeah.
But the thing about money creation is that people create money, and we create it through how we treat money. So if you think about how all that money comes down from the central bank to the government to the big banks or to the little banks that are, giving us money, you go to the bank for a loan. Your ability to pay that back, or the way in which you pay that back, depends on how well your character, which is defined by your credit score, your credit, is. Because it's okay, I gave you this much money to go buy a TV and you paid it back straight away.
Yeah.
You're in good credit.
Yeah.
Which means that
But then no credit score is bad.
Right, because it's zero. Which means that you haven't shown that you can take something and pay it back, which means that you're not...
weird to me.
Yeah, it is, but it's also
I get it.
Yeah, it's like in terms of you being given money, which you haven't been given. So you haven't entered into the promise cycle. You haven't been like, I need money. And then they're going, well, here you go. Let's see how you do.
Yeah, but then
Instead,
isn't the idea that you shouldn't be like, I need money?
Well, no, because the whole idea of the system is to create money, right? So how do you create money? You create money by spending money that you don't have and then earning back more than you spend and then paying back the money you didn't have to the person who lent it to you. So you have $100, but you need $200 to do the thing you want to do. So you ask the bank for $100, then you do the thing you want to do, and it makes you $400. And so now you pay back the $100 plus interest to the bank, and then you've like, let's say you pay back $200.
So I'm up and he's up.
Yeah, he's up and you're up. So let's say you pay $200 back to the bank, you get to keep $200.
So it all depends on what you do with said money.
Exactly.
And if it outweighs the fact of what you're going to do with that money, if it makes you more money. So
the problem with
is that people don't make money from the money that they take.
Exactly.
And they buy cars that
that they can't afford, and then that's what happens when interest rates are too low, because a bunch of people are like, I don't have to pay this back for like 10 years. I'm going to buy all the shit that I can't afford, and then all those people that buy shit that they don't really have the money to afford completely affect the amount of money that's going back to the money that's owed to the central bank, which means that eventually everything's got to tighten up.
Because people love to look like they're living beyond their means.
Exactly.
Which is like the cars, the phone, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And so we have this
this idea of this image that makes them feel this certain way, but it's...
And what does that have to do with fucking money flow, bro? Nothing. It's got to do with, well, I mean,
it's like
arguably,
you never see like really rich, you never see a billionaire wearing fucking Gucci.
No. And that's the thing, bro. People's general perception of money and the economy is that money controls the flow of everything, and money affects the way in which that we can, and the interest rates affects the way in which we can buy and sell stuff and all of this. And it's like a system that we're trying to get into and figure out, when realistically we are the defining characteristic of how that system flows. Without humans recreating money or losing money, the system doesn't get affected. It's like, there's no place of chaos, of entropy within the whole system.
Because it's like, I think Kanye said it. Is it Kanye? And he's like...
Probably.
And he's like...
He's onto it.
And he's like, like, money isn't everything, but not having money... Oh, fuck, how's it go? Not having money is something.
Yeah. It is, bro. And it's true.
Yeah.
Money isn't everything, but not having money is something.
Like, you're fucked without it, but you need some. You need some of it. But like...
I don't think most people ever perceive it that way. And it's changed my mindset. I've been doing a course with this guy, Steve Keen.
Yeah.
He's an economist, an incredible dude. I actually met him in Amsterdam a little while ago and did a podcast with him. And
you went to Amsterdam?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I was over in, I went to South America, and then I went to Dublin. And then while I was in Dublin, I like popped over to see him. Because I was doing a family Christmas over there. My sister lives over there and all sorts. So I was like, fuck it, okay, say what's up. But he's from Sydney originally, so it was just like an Aussie bloke. Just sat down, had a mean yarn, did a pod, and talked about all sorts of stuff. And his course and everything he's been doing has really helped me have a way better grip on how it actually works. But the reason why there's a misconception about all that stuff isn't a coincidence. It's because the mainstream, like, thought of economics, the people that lead the charge in opinion, all believe that money is manipulated by the central bank. They think that everything is dictated by that, and they also think that the real value of money, this is the thing about economics, is like, what's the value of money? Where does the value come from? They don't think it comes from money. They think it comes from people's utility, like, or the utility of something. What's something worth? Like, what's the worth of a toaster? How do we, like, what's the worth of a, and then before that, it was like Karl Marx, all the communist shit that they got that from. He believes it was labor, which was like people putting in work. So what's the labor value? Because that's the really
Yeah,
important
but then there's
factor
like
here.
the passive income,
And then you've got
the
the next layer.
situation.
Yeah,
So it's like a bottle of water at supermarket, $1.
exactly, bro.
Gassy, $5.
It's crazy, but it all layers down to basically economics slowly taking more and more steps away from the fact that nothing happens without, because originally there was this physiocratical view, which was like the quality of the soil dictates the value of money, or the value of the economy. Like that's the defining factor. And so however good the soil was depended how good the economy was, and then from there it's just gone further and further away. But because of the fact that the world's gotten so much bigger, the economy's gotten so much more complex, and we're still sticking with these simplified ideas, we're missing out on the real complex part of it, which is that every part of the system contributes to the system. It's not like one aspect is defining it all, but if there was one aspect that has the biggest effect on the system, it's humans.
Yeah.
And how and which ways that
But you only want more money so then you can live a life truer to what you want to do.
Exactly.
Because everyone just wants to find their purpose.
Yeah.
They just want to, that's what I reckon. It's like, you just want to find their purpose and like what they're driven to do. Mm-hmm. It's like you look at people, they're like really depressed. It's like, well, what do they do? It's like they probably work a shit job they don't like and they haven't found their purpose. And it's like you give them something that they're motivated to do, the money tends to come to some degree.
Yeah.
And regardless if it does or doesn't come, they're doing something that gives them the purpose, so then they're overall happier.
Yeah. It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true. And
so it's like,
money's just energy, bro. You put energy in, you get energy out. You
bro,
put
money
in,
is just the gold star that you get when you're a fucking kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm-hmm. And it's not a bad thing, but the problem with it is the same problem as the whole preoccupation of us getting resources and stuff. It's like you said.
And everyone always wants more money.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of it.
Yeah. But not everybody. I think people that want more money have either a lack of something else in their life.
Yeah.
Or that's for whatever reason what they just really like to do, which is a bit rarer.
Yeah.
I think there's not many people that just make money because they love making money and that's it. They don't.
They want the money because they think with this amount of said money, it's going to make them feel this certain type of way, and they put the value of this into this money.
People that have a lot of money that keep making money are probably pretty satisfied and just sort of playing the game at this point.
They just like the hustle.
Yeah, because they're doing well. The system works. They keep repeating the system. They keep getting more money, and why would you not?
Yeah.
Think about the amount of people that are in the world that have inherited money versus the amount of people that have made money, and the majority of people have made money. Majority of millionaires made their millions. Majority of billionaires made their billions. Like it's not people that have just been given money. And
I reckon, it's like if you get given a lot of money, there's a huge difference mentally.
Yep.
If I got given like millions of dollars, that value of what I spend with that millions of dollars has got less value in my head.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just my opinion. Yeah. Where like if I worked and got that. It's like if I saved up for like 2 years and I got like this one thing I really wanted, I'm going to put so much like time and care into this thing that took me this much time to get.
Yeah.
But if someone just bought it for me, it's like, I still really appreciate it.
But it's not the same.
But it's like not the same as the
spoiled version.
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's what happens. People get spoiled. That's why you don't give kids everything they want. That's why you don't give people everything they want. And that's where
the little bit of stress and struggle is kind of good.
And so that's where the whole food, water, shelter thing comes back in terms of the question.
Because you shouldn't have to bust your ass just to get a fucking loaf of bread.
Just to bust your ass, really. That's what you're doing. People bust their ass so they can keep busting their ass.
Yeah, it's like buying clean. That's another thing. Like, I bust my ass to go to the supermarket and buy cleaning products, and then bust my ass to clean my house. So it's like this weird full circle of just I just worked to buy me something to do more work. But this time I don't get paid.
But that's the interesting question, right? Is that if you think about it in the terms of a very separate fucking chemical experience that's going on that we call life, where there's so many factors that you can't even take into account. It's like there's no such thing as normal. Everybody's doing it a different way.
Oh, bro, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then you go, okay, so why, if everybody's so different, is this the way that it is? Why is it that the majority of people within first world countries are all doing some version of the same thing? Why is there central concepts? Why is there an idea of normal? Why is there an idea of
Yeah,
conformity? And the reason is because we're not separate. There's some sort of weird connection between all of us that makes me think, I need to make sure that I can fit in with you because some part of me feels like you and me, like you're somehow contributing to me. You're doing. We're in this together, right? Alone together.
Yeah.
And if we can accept that this world that we have is just a byproduct of everything we have done, and not something that some other group of people are manipulating that aren't us, because we're the only humans on this planet. It's like, we're the ones doing this. We're the ones creating this. We are the ones that decide where things go from here constantly, every day. But we as individuals only have so much control over the direction of the collective. So what are the things that really matter to people? And my question is this the point in human history where people finally decide to share resources and feed everybody in food, water, shelter, right? Do that thing. Or are people just happy enough and have just the right amount of struggle right now that they're going to keep doing it? Because that's the defining factor. It's like, you talk about the amount of struggle. A lot of people look at this world and go, this is the right amount of struggle.
Yeah.
I don't want less.
Well, and and it's like, if you're at that spot of like working a shit job, you know it's shit, but it could be worse. So you're like, I'm just going to stay here.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if that job was shittier,
you'd change.
You'd be like, nah, I'm over it. It's not worth what I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm going to find something else.
Yeah.
So it's almost like that. Most people are at that sweet spot of it sucks.
Yep.
But it doesn't suck. Like, if it was any worse, like that toxic relationship, if it was a little bit worse,
yeah,
I would leave. You know, like,
yep. And that's what a lot of people were doing.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah, it is. It makes perfect sense.
Because why would you want to quit the job that's like and take this huge risk for minimal reward? Where if it was,
and there's a flip side of that too. Is like, why would I want to give way more effort? Because that's what a big risk is more effort. Why would I want to give way more effort when I can keep giving the amount of effort I'm giving now and still survive the way that I have been? Because I know how to survive. Because I've been doing it. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. You know. I'm not going to go out there and try to face some big, scary, independent me on my own business idea when I can just keep doing this and get by. That's a lot. That's a huge thing for me to do.
Yeah.
In order for me to do that, I have to have so much self-motivation. I have to have self-discipline.
Which is why Cuzzy still works at the fucking Mobil for 25
Exactly, bro. I think that people do genuinely like the idea of more, but sometimes the idea of more is all they need to satiate them. They're like, oh, I could do this, 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 and this. And it's like, that's nice. Anyway, back to Mobil, you know? Oh, I could do that anytime I want. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, because there's a part of me that idolizes that life, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like, I wish I could just, like, do the same thing.
No, you don't.
In a sense.
You could do it, though.
Like, it seems like an easier... But that's the thing, is, like, you don't know.
No, you don't. You don't know, dude. That lady could have fucking been a heroin addict for like 20 years, bro, and then been like, fuck me, I just need to like go to Mobil and park up and like not fuck with anything for
and
a
just
while.
chill and live like a real... Yeah, I say that, bro, and I literally can't chill. Like, I have to do something all the time. So,
that's what I'm saying. You're like, I want to be at Mobil. Like, no, you don't.
Like, no, I don't, like, I don't want to, but it would be, if I could live a life and that, like, ticked every box.
Yeah. You would.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's what you're doing, you know, in your own way. It's like, it's just that the simplified version of it looks simpler, and it's because it is. But that also means it's less exciting. It also means there's less variation.
Like, you got to do something out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm not opposed to doing a simple life in a world where
a simple life with a purpose.
Yeah. And that's why, okay, so people have kids, right? And then learn, you know, they kind of, especially when people have kids young.
Purpose.
Yeah, it becomes the purpose. And it also becomes a great relearning experience. You get to go through, see your kid, learn so much about yourself, because you're like, oh, when I was a kid, this is what was happening at this age. And now I'm here with my kid, giving him a way better experience. So maybe I shouldn't hold on to that so much, because it wasn't my fault. It was actually the people that were around me's fault, you know, like, or whatever. Like, having kids is a great opportunity to realize that the things that happened to you weren't your fault, you know? You didn't have any...
And it's also like your parents' first time being a parent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
which is something I realized the other day. Is that like right now, if I had a kid, I wouldn't know what to do.
Nah.
And then this kid's getting older, and then it's gonna grow up and be like, "Why the fuck did Dad do that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I didn't know. I'd wing it."
Yeah. I've had chats with my mum and dad about that. I remember my dad said that to me once, and he just said, "You know, I'm still learning."
Yeah.
He's 3 kids, 50 odd, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm still learning every day. I learn so much from you guys, and I don't claim to be perfect or have been perfect or done everything in the exact right way.
But then it's like you had this entitled life and everything you ever wanted, it's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Because if my allowance was more than my fucking weekly wage, why, you know, like,
and that's
why would I get a job?
So that's the thing, right? Is that if you can conceive,
but
what
you
it's
never
like,
win, you never win.
Nah, if you can conceive what it's like to be a person that was given everything and realize why that sucks, then I think you're in a pretty good position to enjoy what the journey that you're on, you know? And the thing is about people that get given everything they have you read the what's it called, the Gift of Life, or shit, Jack gave it to me to read. We'll call it The Gift, because I think that's what it's called. And it's a story about this kid whose great uncle dies, and he's a billionaire, and he gives a certain amount of money to everybody that's, you know, of a certain age, like his brothers and sisters and stuff like that. And then lets them get money from the companies he owns, but doesn't let them run any of them because he knows that they'll fuck it up. And then
so it sets them up with no struggle.
And basically. But they've been, because they've been living off him for so long that's the only way they know how to live. And then the last kid in the room is his, you know, great nephew, and he's 24 or something. Or 25, and the lawyers there being like, now for you, we're going into this room, we've got a video. He's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, I knew that old bastard wouldn't give me anything, you know, like he's sort of just starting out. He's been living off it for a little while, all of that sort of stuff, but he's still young, you know? And the uncle sets him up with a video thing every so often. And I think there's like 10 videos, and the 10th video is the ultimate gift. And the first 9 are things that you need to learn in order to appreciate what that would be. And if he stuck with it and kept his head screwed on and listened to it all step by step, then he would get the thing at the end. He's like, all right, whatever. And then it's like, the first gift is the gift of work, bro. He sends him to a farm and just lets him do mahi with like a mate of his for a month or something, just building fences and shit. And by the time he comes back, he's like, okay, I understand the gift of work. Like, you know, put my head down, do a good day's work. Like, you come out of it feeling mean and you enjoy it and shit, you know? And then there's like the gift of friendship, and then there's the gift of giving, and then there's the gift of gratitude, and there's all of these things that the kid learns along the way. And by the time he gets to the end of the ultimate gift, the kid's like, look, dude, I don't know what the ultimate gift is, but honestly, I don't think I want it. Like, I'm good. Like, I've realized the value of the money that I have. I've realized the value of my time, the value of my work, the gifts that I have in my life, the people that I have in my life, all of these things. And then the dude's like, great, well, the final gift's here. You're going to have to, you know, watch a video. And he gives him his, like, trust, which is worth something like $1 billion. And it's all about, like, he's got a library in Brazil and all these sorts of things that he's got going on. And then the kid's like, sweet, well, I'm just going to teach everybody about the gifts. And the lawyer's like, that's exactly what I think he was hoping you were going to do. But the point of that story there is that journey that the kid went on was actually the journey of appreciating what he had, not teaching, not giving him anything. It was like, here's the gifts that you have in your life, and making him aware of those gifts. And then when he does live his life with everything that he has, it's no longer like there's no worth to it, because he's earned the mindset of the worth of the thing that he has. He doesn't just, like, if you got given $1 billion right now, as much as you'd be like, this is so much money, I can't really comprehend it.
It'd stress me the fuck out.
You'd also be like, holy shit, I can do so much stuff with this that can help so many fucking people, including myself, my family, you know, like, because you understand the worth of that money. Whereas if you're just given it and you have no concept, you're like, oh, just put it all on black, you know? Like,
double it.
Double it. Why not? And so it's an important lesson to learn, bro. Having value for the things that you put your time into. And the journey of earning something more than what you were given from the start is actually what makes life enjoyable, not getting the thing that you were journeying towards, you know, like it's the
That's
person
the
you are
journey.
along the way.
Yeah.
It's always the journey, bro.
Yeah.
Always.
It's,
And have you heard the, I think it's Su Lao or Lao Su? The person who enjoys walking will go further than the person who enjoys the destination.
yeah. That's a goodie, eh?
It's a banger, bro. It's a banger. Yeah. Yep. Oh man, I'm really glad you fucking came for a chat, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It's good to sit down and bounce.
Yeah, bro. That was actually
Yeah.
That was vicious.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's good, bro. It's such a crazy rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think about this? And you're like, hold on, that's every conversation I've ever had. Like, there's some connection towards that with everything.
And like mutual friends is a buzzy one that I noticed with work.
What do you
like
mean?
I'll tattoo someone, and then I tattoo this other dude, and I'm like, how did you? And then they're like, oh, bro, like you tattooed this person, and he's good mates with this person, and then he recommended, and then I'm like, oh, buzzy, and I'm like, oh, like very, very fucking rarely. It's happened once that I've tattooed someone. I'm like, how did you find out? Like, how did you end up here? And then they're just like, and they're just like, oh, I just like searched up tattoo, and you know, like having one time, like no mutual connections, like no, like, do you know this person? Nah. Do you know this person? Nah. And it was like, what do you mean there's no connection? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like, I don't know where I was going with that, but
have you heard of well, I know where to go with it. Have you heard about the 3 degrees or 5 degrees of separation?
And New Zealand, America's like 20 and New Zealand's like 3.
What's this? I think we're talking about different things.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
So I know you know someone.
Oh, right,
You know someone.
Yeah.
And that's New Zealand.
Right, yeah.
And in America's like 20.
Okay, yeah.
And then New Zealand's like 3.
I heard it like 3 or 5 is everyone in the world.
Is it?
Yeah, because...
I thought it was just New Zealand.
Well, nah, it's way bigger. Because
yeah, so I know you.
Yeah.
You know someone, he knows John Key.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Okay, think about it this way, right? I was on a podcast that didn't actually end up getting released because of technical issues.
Yeah.
But with Luke Farr, you know Michael Farr's brother?
No.
Meat Farr does the camera. Like, he's a fucking man. He's out Te Wonga. Anyway, he's a local, right?
Yeah.
So his brother, and then his brother got me on a podcast, and the last guest before me was John Key. So it's like, you know? And then you think about the fact that I met Steve Keen, right? That economist.
Yeah.
I saw him on Lex Friedman's podcast. And Lex Friedman, the last 2 people that he interviewed was Vladimir Putin and Zelensky. And he's fucking interviewed, like, so that means that I'm 2 handshakes away from, like, Zelensky, Putin, fucking all of those cunts. So think about that, and then think about all the people that those motherfuckers know. Of course you're going to get to the whole world like that. Like, every person...
With internet.
No, well, even...
Like,
with internet, yeah, it's helped.
I'd buzz out at that, too. It's like, how the fuck can I just, like, call the bro in Aussie right now? Face, and I see their face. Like, what the fuck goes on? Like, how does that work?
Nah.
Like, and so many people, like, all that little shit, bro. Like, I understand how a car runs.
Yeah.
That's logical to me.
You're a step
But,
ahead.
like, this, like, I can touch the thing. Like, that makes no sense.
Have you seen some video of them zooming in on a chip on one of those? I'll show you it after, G. It's crazy. Like, it doesn't actually make sense how small the things are that are in our phones and the amount of layers there are to it. But I mean, I'm amazed by the technology of a phone, but I'm way more amazed by the technology of people. Like, a human mind and our ability to be able to, like, astral projecting and shit, bro. Like, people that can do out of body shit, we can just do that.
Yeah, but like, it's so, the brain's so good, but so terrible at the same time.
Tell me what.
Like, I could see something with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, like, your water bottle tipped over.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, Buzzy, your water bottle tipped over. And it's like on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then you just reply, oh, it never tipped over. I never had a water bottle there. I'd be like, yeah, you did. If you said it like 3 times, like, you say it once, there's this tiny part that's like, maybe he's right. Like, why do I do that? You know what I mean? Like, why does the human brain do that? It's like, no, I fucking seen it, but there's like this small part that's like, oh, maybe he was right.
Yeah.
Why would he lie to me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That is a huge flaw.
No, that's well, yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that shouldn't work that easy.
Nah.
That shouldn't work at all.
Nah, the ability to trick the brain is pretty crazy. Like blind spots and shit, I'll give you that. But it's because your brain's constantly looking for whether or not the information that it's been given is true, or like, you know, is there something about this that is actually, like, what do I confirm this with? And that's where humans are sort of, and our brains are sort of a little bit of a step further along the path of consciousness than other forms of life. Because I can tell you to picture a monkey riding an elephant while on a jet ski, and you're like, your brain makes that happen. But that's not an existence. I've got it in a... No, when have you seen a monkey riding an elephant on a jet ski?
But that's because there's like that imagination scale.
Right. So what is imagination?
Some people don't have it. Like, there's a scale of imagination, and you'll be like, so if I say go get some milk, like if I say go get some milk, do you picture?
Yeah, I picture the milk I'm going to get, where I'm going to get it, all that. Yeah.
Some people just have like the word milk
in their head.
You know, like there's a scale of imagination that some people don't have.
That's crazy. I mean, this is the thing too, right? There's two things. So there's the. Have you heard about the color paradox? I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, no.
So me and you see this, it's green.
Yeah.
You say it's green, I say it's green.
There's different shades of green.
Yeah, it is different shades of green.
No, like you might see a shade of green and I see a different shade.
I could see blue. I could see the blue that you see. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're just both assuming that we see the same color.
Exactly, but we can't be sure, right?
Nah.
I can't know that you're seeing the same thing as me.
Nothing's real. It's just a fucking... But there's some dude way up there and he's playing Sims right now, bro. And he's playing Sims. And he's just like, bro, I'm going to fuck with this cunt today. He's going to take the fucking ladder out the swimming pool. And that's just a shit day for you. You know, like...
Bro, and then, okay, here's a step further, right? Bro, you've got me and you not being able to be certain that we're both seeing the same color, right? But we can agree on a bunch of shit, like a stove being hot. You can be like, ow, that's hot. And you can touch it, be like, yeah, it's definitely hot. I believe you. You know, like we're experiencing something that we can both take evidence from. But then you've got words, right? And this is what I've called the information transfer paradox, right?
Yeah.
And so it's real simple for simple words. You can understand what I'm saying to a certain degree. If I say like, that's hot, you're like, I know what that means. But if I tell you that I'm in love, or that I'm feeling happy, or that I'm so excited about this happening, your version of love, happiness, and excitement are different.
Yeah.
So it's like what I'm saying to you is not what you're receiving. It's a whole other version.
Also typing. Yeah. You don't get the emotion.
Oh yeah, that's fucking no.
But this is another buzzy thing. It's because I take like Dexies every day.
Yeah.
Because I'm ADHD as, right?
Yeah.
But if I give a Dexie to someone else, they fucking ping.
Really?
Well, it's like Ritz, same as Ritalin.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure I might have it because I've done Ritalin and
you just chill.
I just chill, right, bro.
So then I'm like, does every drug have like the Uno reverse
to level you out? If
you know, because I'm taking like dexamphetamine, like it's an amphetamine, technically a fucking upper, and I like chill the fuck out.
That is crazy, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I give it to someone else, so it's like my experience with like drugs is way different to anyone else's experience.
Because you're a different chemical.
But you could would agree to some things. Yeah. Like I still get giggly if I smoke weed. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But my whole experience could be way different.
Way different. I met a dude.
That's buzzy. I thought about that and I was like, whoa, has everything been backwards? Like
yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, depending on what you take will depend how it affects you. Yeah. I met a dude at Twisted. And real nice guy. His name was David. I only met him that one time. I saw him around the festival, obviously, but we crossed paths that one time. He was like, bro, you guys set was mean. I was like, thanks, man. And then we started chatting. Real nice guy. Yeah. And I just, out of curiosity, I went, what do you want, bro? Like, what have you taken? What's your, what's your concoction? Yeah. What gets you through a festival? He goes, strictly acid and tequila, bro. Yeah, and I was just like, that sounds like torture to me.
Yeah.
Like that genuine. If somebody sat me down and said, for the next 4 days, all you can do is drink tequila and take acid, I would be like, no, you have to pay me like a lot of money. And even then, I don't know if I would do it. And meanwhile, I'm on, what was I on? Like ketamine, mushrooms, and weed.
And he probably, he's like, what? Nah.
Well, nah, he was like, nice, you know, he's like, not for me. He's like, you know, but we were on the same level. Like, we were both talking coherent. We both had good fucking energy. We were both talking about lovely things and having a great moment. And it's like, you're around here with the same vibe that I am, but you've gotten there by completely different means, you know? I could never imagine taking acid and drinking tequila and being as happy as that guy was.
That's a buzzy mix.
That's a buzzy mix, bro. Shout out David.
Yeah, shout out to David.
What a guy. But yeah, it's a tripper, man. We got X amount of options and time, and I think that if there was one reason why I'm doing all of this, it's because I think that I accepted that I've already got all of those things.
Yeah, bro, that's it.
I'm already doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm already getting by. I'm already in a place where I have everything I need. So the least I can do is talk to people about it, because for me, my life's been hard, you know, to its own, in my own version of it.
Yeah.
And I've been on
level. It's like hard to you is different to hard to me.
Exactly. I've been on level 1, bro.
It's like, if I've had everything I ever wanted.
Yeah.
And then someone says no, that pain
is so hard.
Would be just as fucking painful as some horrendous shit that someone else has got.
Exactly.
And it feels the same, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Let's say it does.
But he would say,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're feeling the same.
Yeah.
But it's like,
you can't measure it.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Yeah.
I think if I can continue to do this, I think I'm pretty happy. Just cruise, because I'm curious, man. Imagine, okay, think about it this way. I do 50 episodes this year. Say I do 50 next year.
Yeah.
Then I do 50 the next year, and then the next year after that. We just talked about 3 degrees of separation being able to connect with the whole world.
Yeah.
So if I do 200 podcasts in 4 years...
you're bound to get people.
Exactly.
And I think, you know what the funniest thing about like me doing this is that, like, I did it because I was like, this year I want to learn how to talk on camera.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, and I was anxious as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, coming out, I was like, fuck, like, trying to amp myself up. Like, but could you not? Like, I fucking hate this shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, why do I have to? And then, like, I realized, I was like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, but my body's just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, talk on camera, and then someone's going to be like, bro, you sat there and fucking, like, talked to them, like, that's cringe. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I did it.
Yeah,
I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
like, you didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know? And then it's like, you're just like, and then with that, it's like, so I did that, but I didn't even know that this was like a full podcast.
Yeah.
I just seen your snippet.
Yeah, the little shorts.
And I thought that that's all I was doing. And then last night, I like clicked the Spotify link and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm doing a full podcast. I was like, fuck it, that works too.
Yeah, I'm glad you realized that last night. Didn't have too much time.
No, I was like, oh, well, I was like, fuck, I already said yes. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Man, yeah.
And then like, it's like, nothing bad happened.
Nah.
But like mentally, I'm like, felt like I was going to die on the way here. But I knew it was irrational. You know?
That's a good one for everyone that listens and thinks about that.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people do. And with the podcast too, it's like...
There's only good things on the other side of anxiety, I reckon.
Oh.
No, not always. But
no,
you know what
I
mean.
like that. I'm all for that. I think that's an absolute gem, bro. Only good things on the other side of anxiety.
Because that door's always going to be scary.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
I've always said that with people when I'm performing, bro. And
because that's terrifying.
People,
I don't know how you do it. But then I'm like, you do it once, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that initial, like, I've never been to the gym because I'm terrified of it.
Bro.
But I
struggled with that for a long time too.
Bro, and it's like, I know it's irrational.
Yeah.
I know I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
No, it's okay. And I think that, like you say, the more that you overcome anxiety, the more that you find good shit on the other side of it. And with regards to stuff like talking on camera or rapping on stage, the more I've done it, the less it worries me. But do you know what the interesting part is though? Jimmy Carr, you know, the comedian?
Yeah.
He did a test. He was like tested his levels of anxiety through, you know, the levels of whatever proteins and stuff in his blood before and after shows. And he did a tour.
Yeah.
So he did a whole tour. His level of anxiety didn't change throughout the entire tour.
Yeah.
But his experience of it did. So he did the first one, quite nervous.
Yeah.
Second one, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, say he did 10 shows. By the 10th show, he got up there like it was absolutely nothing, super relaxed, knew exactly what he was doing. But the level of anxiety never changed, which means that you're not actually getting rid of anxiety. You're just getting better at dealing with the amount.
Yeah, I still get nervous before tats.
There you go.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's not like I can't do it.
Nah.
And it's just like this, like, it's not like this crippling anxiety.
Nah.
But like some days it's like, fuck, you know? Which is this weird concept of like, what the fuck do I even do for a job? It's like, I fucking, like...
draw on people.
Bro, like...
and it's forever.
Bro, I draw on people and like stab it into them and they're in pain. And then by the end of the day, they hate me. And then they pay me and then they come back. And the other weird thing... Bro, and then the other weird thing is that like, you might book in a tat.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want this rose tattoo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, rad, book it in, right? Blah, blah, blah. And like, let's say it's 4 weeks away. Most of that 4 weeks, at some point in the day, fuck yeah, a couple more days so I get this tat. And then there's me, who's like booked in the tat, forgets about it.
Yeah.
Not even in my brain.
Nah, because you're doing the other ones.
Because I'm designing everyone else's.
Yeah.
And then like a week before, I like check my log. And I'm like, sweet, start drawing this, start drawing that. And I just go to work and I just draw on this person. And then you come in excited, end up in pain, and then you leave and you're like, you look at this tat and that's on you for life. And then I'll forget about it 3 days later. But your experience will always, like, you will forever remember the time that I drew on you and it was just another day. Yeah. Like, you remember that you were fucking working at that barbershop and then you like took smoko or something.
Yeah, I did it on lunch.
Yeah, and then came and like, that's a vivid memory for you.
Yeah.
And like, I remember it because I'm looking at that tat
right now.
But like, if I wasn't
day
to day, I don't think about it. I remember that time I did the fucking triangle on the bow. Like, it doesn't cross my mind at all.
Put in so many hours though, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah.
That when you did the reveal video, bro. Fuck, that cracked me up, G.
That big ass.
You put the foam on it. You're like, oh, bro's done some big hours today.
No, yeah.
That was funny.
You gotta have, yeah.
But I agree, bro. It's similar with me with haircuts, you know, like not it's not as lifelong, but it's also like I don't think about I changed that person's life for the next fucking few weeks. So that day they're feeling way fresher. They're on their way, and it's like, you know,
I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I didn't get it until I started getting a little lineup, bro, and then I was like,
I feel good.
But I'm gonna run these errands that people say. You know? Like, I'm feeling crisp. Like, I feel saucy as.
Yeah. It's a good thing to be able to give people that, man. Yeah. Like, and for it to be a way that's also a living, and it's like,
it's just the craziest job. Like, I think about it maybe once a week. I'm like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is a job.
I'm stoked for you, Jay. I'm real glad because I know that you've worked really hard to get to where you are and for it to be what you're doing full time. And I hope you're super proud of yourself, man, because it's rad. And you're fucking good at what you do as well, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Straight up. Mean that. And it'd be good too. It's a cool thing about the podcast and stuff, you know, like I'll put all your links and shit, post it all out there, and then it's like,
then I share it, and then it's like,
you got to tell me if someone comes from the pod, bro. That would be crazy. Someone's like, oh, I saw you on that podcast.
Yeah, bro.
That would be dope.
That would be dope.
I think it'll be like your socials and internet one though, you know, where it's just like random, you know, like that doesn't usually happen. You know?
Well, I'll just share it and I did this thing where I'm literally just gonna be like, I didn't like talking on camera, so I did this podcast and I chopped up a random yarn. So if you're a hater, you can lick my nuts.
Yeah, hard, bro.
You know?
And it's like, that's the thing too, bro. I was real nervous at the start about putting them out because I was thinking about
I was going to ask you about that.
Going through them, you know, finding
stuff and making you look like a bad person.
Yeah, no, I don't
but
think
you know what? That's an irrational fear.
It is, bro. But it's also
and
it's rational in terms of Instagram, you know.
Has anyone that's been cancelled actually been cancelled?
Nah, I think all the people that got cancelled were actually just rapists and they went to jail, and everybody else that got cancelled was just not really popular for a little bit.
But that not popular bit is like just people commenting and then boosting the algorithm.
Exactly.
So like that's that saying, and it's like any. Fuck, how does it go? It's like
no such thing as bad
publicity.
Bad publicity.
Yeah. Which does work for some people. Like I see people like sitting on it, eh?
Yeah.
And it works.
In a little field of hate, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not how I want to come up. Bro.
No, neither. But like, you know.
But I imagine this whole concept will definitely ruffle some feathers, bro. I mean, if there's an Illuminati and all of that shit, I'm a dead man. Like, I'm definitely getting popped, bro. This is not a conversation that if any of that stuff's real, like the elites and the control and
bro.
it's like there's no way this is going to be allowed to be a popular thing. You know, like I'm going to be
bro. It's like that dude who invented the engine that ran on water.
Dead man.
And then there was the other dude who had a Fisher and Paykel washing machine.
Yeah.
And he had a creek in his river. On his.
He had a creek in his river.
Yeah, a creek in his river, bro.
Yeah.
Tough gig.
So
snip it.
So yes,
snip it.
No edits, bro. It's all raw, bro. I cut out when people go to the toilet, and other than that, I'm like, fucking, it's
pull it
all
up.
good. Yeah,
put it up, Jerry.
Oh yeah, literally. Yeah. You pull that up for us. So you got a Fisher and Paykel washing machine and put it in his creek.
Yeah. On his property.
Yeah.
And like, just reverse engineered it. So you just grab like it's like a starter motor on a car, like spins. It's like crash starting a car.
So what did he do? So it like created energy.
Because he put the Fisher and Paykel. It was a fucked Fisher and Paykel thing. There was a YouTube video. I watched it.
Yeah.
And it got taken down, and the dude got shot or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, but it's legit.
Okay.
And so you get a Fisher and Paykel, and on the thing he's like, it worked. This Fisher and Paykel washing machine fucked out, and I just thought it might work, and I fucking put it in the creek and like just did something with the wires. It was super simple. He's like, I don't know if it worked for other ones, but this is the model.
Yeah.
Try it. He like puts it in the creek, like cuts like a hole in it.
Yeah.
So then when the water comes in and spins like a dam.
Yeah.
And then
creates a turbine,
creates energy, and then same as like crash starting a car, like, you know, like it's rolling
once
it,
the water starts going through, it's away.
Yeah, and then he just had it to a battery, and he's like, look, there's current coming in.
So he created hydropower out of a washing machine, basically.
Yeah.
Fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
I heard a thing that apparently the amount of solar panels you would need to power the entire planet is like smaller than Germany, like the country of Germany. Like it's not even the whole country. It's like less, and that's like.
Well, this is the buzzy thing, is like Elon Musk could solve a fuckload of problems.
Well, he's doing some stuff. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, I'm not like hating on the bro.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, if you were him, would you?
Would I solve problems?
Well, like, you know what I mean, like, because you're never gonna get everything right.
I wouldn't be going to space, man. I don't. I'm not saying it's not a good idea.
Fuck, one of my clients was telling me
Seems
about
like a step away though.
About Elon, and he was saying that his dad got given this book.
Oh, about the first person to explore Mars, and his name was Elon.
Yeah.
Zonny was telling me about that the other day.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't fact check any of it because I don't know, but it was just what
I think Zonny said that there's a really old book that I don't know if it's about the dad giving it to Elon.
Yeah.
But I know that there is a book that is like about the first human race going to Mars and the first.
Oh no, someone gave Elon's dad the book.
Oh yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, and that's how he got his name.
That's how he got his name.
Oh.
Or something like that.
I heard it was just like there's a book that exists that's a really old book, and it's about the first people that go to Mars, and the guy that leads it, his name's Elon.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, one or the other. But he's doing big shit, and for me, I don't see the point in going to Mars right now. I understand it in a big picture and the idea of what he's going for there, but to me, it's like it's the same as somebody talking to me about how we need to fucking do X, Y, Z with whatever form of like system that we have in place in terms of tax or.
But you're never gonna get. This is the other thing as well. Is like you got like, no matter what, you're never gonna get it right.
Yeah.
Like there's always a doubt. It's like trying to eat healthy. It's like no matter what you eat, there's always some person like, oh, you're using canola oil.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like there's always like a pro and con. You're just gonna find like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
bro. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's it's like my baseline pro con simplified version of it all is that
you just want people to be happier.
Yeah, pretty much, bro.
That's it.
Yeah, bro. Outcome based or purpose based reality is a lot better. I think that is a good meaning of life.
Yeah.
So the camera cut off. So we'll run it back again to tidy it up.
Yeah.
You've got a little gem for the people.
Yeah.
Drop it on them, and we'll call it a wrap.
Yeah. So, the end mantra is there's no dumber cunt than a cunt who doesn't think he's a dumb cunt. And that's a fucking
I thought it wasn't going to hit as good the second time, but it's so good. All right, you're one of those. Cheers. All right, we'll take that on.